midfield, John Buckley alongside Adam Forshaw. And then there's an attacking three, a Mario Crozer-Dubry, who's on loan at Blackburn from Brighton. He used to be in the Arsenal Youth Academy in the past. He's on the right. Augustus Cargbo makes his first start for Blackburn, having come on as a substitute at Loftus Road on Tuesday. He's a new January signing. And then Todd Cantwell, who's been with Blackburn all season, scored a penalty against Preston in the last home game here. He's in behind Emmanuel Dennis, the Nigerian striker, former Watford, on loan from Nottingham Forest, who's making his Blackburn Rovers debut here. The Wolves team, 5 changes from that win over Villa. Sam Johnson in and goal, still ready to keep a clean sheet for the first time since joining Wolves. Back three, Santiago Bueno, Emmanuel Agbadou and Totti Gomez. That's full strength, those three. Then there's Nelson Semedo, the skipper, at right wing back. Rodrigo Gomez, who's been impressive, he's left wing back. No Ryan Aït-Nouri today. John Reitner, Bellegarde and Joe Gomez in the engine room in the midfield. And then Gonzalo Guedes and Mateus Cunha in support of the Korean Hwang, who came on as a sub against Aston Villa last time out. And Hwang's most recent goal was in the Premier League against Tottenham in December. Blackburn in their traditional blue and white halves, Wolves in their old gold colours, and we are underway, the 4th round of the FA Cup. This is 5 Live and BBC Sounds. We are live at Ewood Park for this 12:30 kickoff. Busy day of live sport. It's all coming back to back, wall to wall here on 5 Live as the day progresses. But this is FA Cup that we're concentrating on now. Wolves in possession, playing from right to left, and a first touch of the ball from Mateus Cunha, who very Brazilian-esque dance and jiggles around it before laying the ball back in field again to Emmanuel Agbadou, who's been a revelation. He's arrived in the Premier League as if he's been playing here for 10 years. He's 27 years of age. He joined from Reims in January, but he's immediately come in and looked really good so far as part of Wolves' back three, and he played a huge part in the win over Aston Villa last weekend. Blackburn Rovers regained possession of the midfield. John Buckley rolls it back to the edge of the penalty area where Dominic Heim is there, into the goalkeeper, stumble, not a clean first touch. Blackburn almost working their way into trouble, but Bellegarde couldn't get the clean shot away. Not the most sterling strong start you've ever seen from the Blackburn Rovers defensive goalkeeper. 0-0.
Nervy from the goalkeeper, Toth there. Talked before about the manager changing goalkeepers in this situation. He looked a little bit ring rusty there, not used to playing out from the back. Ball came back to him, kind of scuffed his pass to Danny Bath, went neither here nor there. Very, very lucky.
Emmanuel Dennis does a little twist to the turn. He gets up to the halfway line, and then he's tackled by Totti Gomez, and the ball goes out of play for a throw into Blackburn Rovers. Early stages here at Ewood Park in the FA Cup as Rodrigo Gomez rolls it in field. Back then to the 3 central defenders. Agbadou rolls it to Santiago Bueno on the right hand side. Bueno's made a lot of blocks in the Premier League, gets his body in positions to block a lot of shots and to defend in front of the goalkeeper as the ball goes out of play for a throw into Blackburn on the far side. And Yuri Ribeiro, who Blackburn Rovers fans are getting to see a glimpse of him for the first time today, throws it up towards Augustus Cargbo. Back into their own half, go Blackburn. They'll want just a few settling touches here. Buckley goes along and searching down the left wing, but that's going to carry all the way through to Sam Johnson, the Wolves goalkeeper, wearing bright pink, away to our right hand side.
That's something that we'll see from Blackburn this afternoon with the 2 wing backs that Wolves have got, Semedo and Rodrigo Gomez. The wide areas, Crozer-Dubry and Cargbo. Longer diagonal balls, they're not afraid to go slightly longer at times. Blackburn, they will attempt to play out. He likes to play John Eustace, but they play in the right areas. They don't overplay for the sake of it. They will go long, and with this attacking formation, which I've been fairly impressed the way that they've started, kind of how they've set up on the pitch. They've certainly not sat deep.
And John Eustace has been in charge of Blackburn for a year, took over last February. Reports today linking him with the now vacant post at Derby County, but you'd imagine Blackburn Rovers would be very keen to hold on to him, particularly if they are to progress to the 5th round of the FA Cup today. Wolves have got possession. Premier League Wolves away at Championship Blackburn, but Blackburn with their eye on becoming a Premier League club again next season. Wolves trying to come down the right hand side with Nelson Semedo, who almost plays more like a winger these days than a defender. The 3 at the back formation for Wolves really allows him to push on, and he will take the throw in, takes it short to Santiago Bueno, and now across to Totti Gomez.
With Agbadou, just picking up on your point, Connor, he looks a really good signing. I know for this day and age in the Premier League, 17 million, it doesn't look a lot. It looks like they bought a real leader.
Yeah, he's got a presence about him, doesn't he? Big, sturdy central defender, but he's been able to keep his head. He looks very composed in the ball when you see him. Ball at his feet, good in the air, of course. As the ball is cleared away down the left-hand side. Touch for Todd Cantwell, elegant player, but he can't hold on to possession there as it's taken away from him, and Cunha goes down, fouled by Crozier-Dubry. Free kick to Wolves midway inside Blackburn Rovers territory.
He looks to be given a little bit of freedom today as Matheus Cunha in this formation. It's maybe a game that he'll enjoy. Maybe that's how the manager sold it to him. Maybe didn't fancy an away tie at Ewood Park, Blackburn Rovers in the FA Cup. Manager says, I'll give you that free role, that number 10 role. Seen him come out here on the left hand side. That time he cuts in field. Crozier-Dubry makes the foul. You think it's too far away to have a shot from goal. Just a little indication of where Matheus Cunha is going to play today.
Matheus Cunha standing over this free kick. He's got his hands at his hips. Referee is Lewis Smith today. And Blackburn Rovers just holding a defensive line along the edge of their penalty area here. It does look way too far. I mean, you never quite know it, Matheus Cunha, but this looks closer to the centre circle than it does to the circle of the D. Cunha getting ready to take the free kick. Blackburn Rovers nil, Wolverhampton Wanderers nil. He does shoot. I mean, that was speculative. It's on target, mind you, but a comfortable, very comfortable save for Todd.
He's hit it with decent power straight at the goalkeeper, and he's probably thought the inclement conditions today, it's quite windy, the pitch isn't great, maybe try and get it to bounce in front of the goalkeeper who's not played many games.
It has already been an FA Cup weekend of stunning long range goals and powerful hits. And Jamie Donnelly, I mean, it'll go down as an own goal off Ortega, but he'll be eating out on that goal against Manchester City for Leyton Orient yesterday for a long time. And Iwata's goal for Birmingham, I mean, what a strike that was. Still rising as it hit the net. If you're ever going to have a crack from distance, an FA Cup weekend feels a very good time to do it. 0-0 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Wolves with possession back on the edge of their own penalty area. Problem for Blackburn Rovers has been scoring goals. Yuki Ohashi is out injured at the moment. They've got Naktar Gay, who hasn't been able to chip in with too many. Andy Weimann, the former Aston Villa striker, still plays his international football, still gets the call up for Austria. He's been Blackburn's top scorer this season with 8 goals. He's on the bench today. Blackburn with possession with Adam Forshaw, lots of experience, and he'll roll it infield towards John Buckley. Let's get an update from this lunchtime on a Sunday game in the Championship. Bristol City are playing Swansea City, and here's Aaron Paul.
Still 0-0 here, Connor. Bristol City dominating possession, and we've seen another fine save from Lawrence Vigouroux in the Swansea stick. Scott Twine with the free kick over from the right. Great opportunity for Luke Manali, swept a volley towards goal. Fine save by the goalkeeper. 0-0.
Thanks very much, Aaron. 0-0 here at Ewood. Bellegarde is crunched into. That was a sturdy challenge by Ribeiro. Wolves hold on to the ball though, and they have it wide on the right hand side with Guedes. He comes infield on a wide arc, loses a bit of territory there, retreats back towards the centre circle. Totti Gomez gives it to Emmanuel Agbadou. Wolves have dominated the possession in the early stages here, have it with João Gomez, who makes a lot of tackles, gives away a lot of free kicks, picks up a lot of bookings, but he's a busy player in the heart of the engine for Wolves. As they do retreat here back towards the edge of their own penalty area. No pressure though on Agbadou. No press from Blackburn. They don't want to get caught by putting too many players too far up the pitch early on here and create an opportunity for Wolves to get in behind them. 7 minutes played at Ewood.
Struggling to get any real kind of ball possession, Blackburn, at the moment. Started the game quite brightly, started the game with a high press, but as Wolves have got into the game, dominated possession, forced Blackburn back, and on the turnover possession, Blackburn have 1 or 2 passes and lose possession.
A mistake by Buckley there. He nearly lost it, but Forshaw was able to regain possession for Blackburn Rovers, and then Toth clears it high up into the centre circle where it's well controlled by Emmanuel Dennis, and he's given a good pass to Crozier-Dubry on the right hand side. First proper Blackburn attack of the game. Crozier-Dubry shoots, but it takes the sting with a deflection off a defender, and it becomes a comfortable catch for Sam Johnson. But that was the first time this afternoon already that the Blackburn have been able to give a bit of an injection of pace into their attack with Crozier-Dubry.
And that's the space in behind those Wolverhampton Wanderers wing-backs that we talked about. Manuel Dennis that time drops deep into the number 10 role, picks up the ball in midfield, takes it well on his chest, turns to Crozier-Dubry on the right hand side, plays a lovely ball into him, who cuts inside on his left foot. Ball takes a deflection, loops harmlessly to the goalkeeper, but that's the threat that Crozier-Dubry has on this right hand side, cutting in with his left foot.
Six Nations rugby to come on 5 Live later on this afternoon. 3 o'clock start. Scotland against Ireland. We'll be with Sarah Orchard and the team for that. Later on today we'll bring you Aston Villa against Tottenham. That's the 5:35 kickoff in the Premier League. As we go to Dan for an update for the latest in the cricket. Dan.
Times for England here. India starting well. They're 41 without loss. Rohit Sharma's hit 3 sixes already. He has 28 from 17. Shubman Gill 11 off 15, chasing 305. India 42 without loss halfway through the 6th over.
Thanks very much. 0-0 at Ewood Park here in the FA Cup. This is the first FA Cup kick-off of the day. This FA Cup game's tomorrow and Tuesday as well, as the 4th round continues. Throw in for Blackburn Rovers. Right full-back position for them. Joe Rankin-Costello, who's come through the youth system here at Blackburn. He takes the throw up towards the halfway line, where it goes out for another throw into Blackburn Rovers, and Rankin-Costello can stride forward some 20 yards to take the throw in again. They've got the high-vis orange ball for the FA Cup, as you've seen in the other 4th round games. Nice little weave by Buckley to make a bit of space for himself, and he tries to pick out Carbo here. It ended up being a really good pass. Augustus Carbo in the penalty area, waits for the arrival of the fullback outside him, Ribeiro. It comes back to Carbo and he can't keep it down. Shoots over the crossbar. That's 2 chances in quick succession. We haven't played 10 minutes yet. Blackburn Rovers 0, Wolves 0.
Yeah, much better from Blackburn Rovers. It's that long diagonal ball again, making use of the wide players, the pace that they've got. Augustus Carbo this time on the left-hand side, brilliantly found by John Buckley with a long diagonal ball, drives at the fullback, and he's really clever. He holds the ball, waits for the fullback Ribeiro to come round his outside, who then in turn returns the pass, cuts it back. It's not a good strike by Carbo, but better from Blackburn. You can see the game plan, the long diagonal passes.
Augustus Carbo close to a goal of his home debut, as Ribeiro here forced to defend, does well, holds off the pressure and the heat from Nelson Semedo, just shepherded the ball out of play there. Goal kick to Blackburn Rovers away to our left, still 0-0.
That's maybe something that John Eustace has worked on this week with his Blackburn team, allowing Wolverhampton Wanderers to have that possession, and with the likes of Buckley, Forshaw sat deep, playing the longer ball forward on the diagonal.
0-0 on 5 Live. There's a challenge on Todd Cantwell. Comes in, and Blackburn Rovers fans disappointed that they didn't get maybe a free kick, or next best maybe a throw-in for that. It ends up being a throw-in to the visitors, Wolves. Rodrigo Gomez, the 21-year-old, the Portuguese player, will take it. He's operating in the left wing-back position today. He's got long sleeves, he's got the gloves, and he's twirling the ball in the palm of his hands, waiting for some movement. None of his teammates are anywhere near him here, so he's going to have to launch this long towards Hwang in the centre circle, easily cut out by Dominic Heim, and then foul is committed by Mateus Cunha. Free kick to Blackburn, 10 yards inside their opposition half.
Growing into this game, Blackburn Rovers started off, they're quite happy to let Wolverhampton Wanderers have possession, but they've had a bit of joy with those diagonal balls that we spoke about in the wide areas. Buckley and Forshaw, they'll provide the protection for the back four, and actually when they're in possession now, Blackburn in the last 2 or 3 minutes, they've looked a lot better.
So free kick to Blackburn Rovers, and they are sending both central defenders forward. Heim and Bath have made their way up to the edge of the Wolves penalty area. Wolverhampton Wanderers holding a line about 5 yards outside the box, and the goalkeeper Sam Johnson is outside of his 6-yard box, ready to come and scoop up anything that comes over the top. It's played in by Buckley towards the far post, nodded back into a central location. Agbado can only head it down to Crozier Dubry. Great close touch control for him. No room to get a shot away though. Emmanuel Dennis with a bright green boot holds on to possession, holds off Bellegarde, but a poor pass is cut out by Hwang, and Wolves quite relieved in the end to clear that away. Let's go for an update to the Scottish Cup. They're into the 5th round there already. Aberdeen against Dunfermline. Here's Kenny Crawford.
11 minutes gone, corner. It's still Aberdeen 0, Dunfermline 0. A half chance for both sides. Jeremiah Chillicoa Mullen headed over for the Pars, and Topi Keskinen, the Finnish international, he had a shot saved for Aberdeen. So it's still Aberdeen 0, Dunfermline 0.
Thanks very much, Kenny. Here at Ewood Park, Adam Forshaw in possession just inside Wolverhampton Wanderers territory. It's been pretty even this game so far in these opening 12 minutes. Emmanuel Dennis on his debut for Blackburn, 10 yards inside the penalty area, feeds it to the right hand side to Rankin-Costello. His ball into the penalty area, slightly behind his teammates who were in there. It's Todd Cantwell it was closest to, he can't control, and the ball fishes out of play for a throw into Wolves on the far side.
He's looked lively, Emmanuel Dennis, in the opening 13 minutes or so, dropping deep, not afraid to come in, drop deep, draw the centre halves in. He knows that he's got pace in the wide areas that can run in behind him. He's been lively.
So a throw into Wolves. Nelson Semedo, once of Barcelona, to take it. This season he's been up amongst the best in the Premier League for defenders providing assists. He takes the throw and gets it back from Guedes. Challenged by Cantwell though. Blackburn are making life uncomfortable here for Wolves. As Nelson Semedo's slow to get back to his feet after that collision there, but he does get a free kick for it.
There's a lot of these players that will have a point to prove to the manager. You know, you said about the changes that they made. There's only 3 players starting today for Blackburn that suffered the defeat on Tuesday at QPR. These are the players that have been on the fringes, obviously with the new signings coming into the side as well. But there's a lot of these players that are trying to stake a claim. Obviously they'll want to win the cup tie and get through, progress to the next round, get some winning momentum. But actually for the players' individual agendas will come to the fore as well.
Blackburn beaten at Queen's Park Rangers on Tuesday in the Championship. Jack Colback got the late winning goal in that game. Now Mateus Cunha is in around the back of Rankin Costello here. Left wing for Wolves. Steps into the penalty area. Good balance. Shifts it on. Rodrigo Gomez to Hwang. Hwang shoots. Good block though. Danny Bath against his old club. Sliding in. And then Blackburn want a free kick here. They feel that Emmanuel Dennis was impeded by Totti Gomez as he tried to pick up that clearance. Flag is raised on the far side. Wolves are offside. And it is going to be a free kick to Wolves anyway, but back on the edge of their own penalty area. First time that Mateus Cunha had the ball at his feet inside the Blackburn Rovers penalty area there, but still 0-0.
He looked a different level, didn't he? Straight away, Mateus Cunha, you could see he just had that injection of quality. He got the better of Rankin Costello, got into the box, cut it back to Hwang, couldn't quite get his shot away. It was a good block by the Blackburn defenders, but that just shows the quality that Mateus Cunha's got. In the meantime, as you say, Emmanuel Dennis, he was moaning at the assistant on this side. He wanted a free kick. There was a coming together between him and Totti Gomez off the ball, but as we know, no VAR, not yet. You have to get through for that.
Yes, no VAR, no goal line technology, as has been much discussed over the weekend. They've reached half-time of the Championship. Bristol City against Swansea City. Back to Aaron Paul.
Bristol City 0, Swansea 0. Limited action here despite Bristol City dominating things. And if I'm Liam Manning, I'm very, very disappointed with my side's first half showing. Luke Manali has had the best opportunity of the half, sweeping a shot, forcing an excellent save by Lawrence Vigouroux. Vigouroux has also saved well from Jason Knight. Half-time here, the overcast Ashton Gate 0-0.
Thanks very much, Aaron. I know there's a healthy constituency who are quite pleased with the sort of no VAR in the FA Cup. It's all fun and games, and you can sort of say, well, we'll take the human error until your team concedes a late goal. I was at Old Trafford on Friday, interviewed Ruud van Nistelrooy in the tunnel afterwards. You know, his view on it may differ from those who are enjoying the sort of breath of fresh air of having Noah Vitti as assistant referee. Fair play to Ruben Amorim. He admitted, because I interviewed him after the game, and he said, you know, we've been really, really lucky there. That should not have been a goal. That game should have gone to extra time. But it does give an extra little bit of drama, the fact that we know if a goal goes in, it's not going to be turned over. The decision on the field is going to stand.
It makes our job a lot better as well. You can give it full beans, can't you? Because if the flag's not up, you know that the goal stands.
Yes, nothing worse as a commentator when you go to town on describing the ecstasy of a goal, only then to realise that actually it's not a goal at all.
In a similar way to the players celebrating, I suppose.
Yes, absolutely. 0-0 here at Ewood Park. Danny Bath touches the ball out towards Yuri Ribeiro, under pressure, but he's done well. Shuffles it on to Cargbo, who's got a bit of pace and a bit of wriggle and jiggle about him as he accelerates past 2 defenders, and he's almost into the penalty area, stopped by Santiago Bueno. Free kick to Blackburn. Bueno with the foul, and he gets a yellow card for that too. I'll tell you what, Blackburn Rovers fans, many of them seeing Augustus Cargbo for the first time today, they're going to love what they're seeing here because he's so direct.
He's sharp. How quick is he? I mean, this is the first time that I've seen him in the flesh as well, but he's very, very direct. And the one thing that the Rovers fans are loving, as soon as he gets the ball, his first thought is forward, whether it's a forward pass, whether it's a forward dribble, but he dribbles, he takes on the defender there, takes on his fullback Semedo, gets past him, pulled back, free kick for Blackburn in a really good area. But the pace of Cargbo there and the directness, he's like an old-fashioned winger.
It's a yellow card for Santiago Bueno inside 20 minutes, so one of Wolves' 3 central defenders now carrying a yellow card and has got to be careful. Free kick to Blackburn. Now this is the sort of position that they would love to put Wolves under pressure. The wind swirling around. This is almost level with the edge of the penalty area, a few yards outside it, but closer to the touchline than it is the box. And Wolves are holding a deep defensive line. They're stood only just outside their own 6-yard box here. Blackburn, who've crowded the penalty area as much as they dare. And John Buckley, whose distribution's been good today, is going to take the free kick, raises his right arm as a signal, sends it in, great delivery, headed down in, but the flag is raised, it ain't going to count. Dominic Heim heading it in from close range, but this is the flip side of VAR, because there's no even question of going back to allow that goal if the decision was wrong, because the flag goes up, that's it, no goal, offside.
funny, isn't it, how conditioned we are to VAR. Even though we've just been talking about it, my initial thought was they'll check that. It was a wonderful free kick. Really was a wonderful free kick.
Not much in it.
It looks extremely tight at the far post for Haim. It's a brilliant in-swinging free kick. Listen, if this was VAR, they'd be drawing the lines very, very closely. The assistant, to his credit, on our near side down here, who put his flag up straight away. Let you behind the curtain a little bit. Here at Ewood Park, we've got 2 monitors on the screen, one of which is blurred, the other one's at quite a distance away. We can't actually see clearly, but when you check that one for yourself, that will be very close.
Yeah, Richard West is the assistant to the near touchline, who's a very experienced Premier League assistant referee, so we would back him to have made the right call there, but it was tight. Yeah, I think the blurry screen, Paul, I think that was installed well before you joined Blackburn Rovers. The sort of hanging on there, not exactly high definition.
Connor, I'm just thankful that there's 2 and I could check the other one, that my eyes haven't gone.
Emmanuel Dennis is cut down by Bellegarde in the midfield, but he springs back up to his feet, and he's obviously looking to impress on his Blackburn Rovers today. Debut today, the Nigerian centre forward. He's shown a lot of energy. Wolves battling for the ball here, and they have it with João Gomes. Gives it back to Totti Gomes. Infield now to Mateus Cunha. All the Brazilians lining up for Wolves. Down goes Bellegarde into the penalty area. Referee doesn't flinch. No free kick for Wolves. Bellegarde slowly gets back up to his feet. Blackburn Rovers regain possession. Blackburn 0, Wolves 0.
No, he slipped, Bellegarde. He slipped. He put his right foot down. He planted the outside of his foot, went down. Really good cut tie this is turning into, as you can tell by the atmosphere. The teams are both growing into it, snapping into tackles in the middle of the park. And there's one thing that's good, we're watching 2 teams trying to win a game. Neither one of them's trying not to lose, stay in the game. No deep defensive line blocks. Both teams with attacking ambition.
Speaking of defensive line blocks, 11 o'clock tonight on 5 Live. Coverage and commentary of Super Bowl 59 as the Kansas City Chiefs take on the Philadelphia Eagles from the New Orleans Superdome in Louisiana.
You staying up for that one, Connor?
I think I will, actually.
Will you?
Yeah. Many years I say I will and I nod off, and some years I say I won't and I'll stay up, but I'm full of good intent.
Yeah, my ambition's great. I've got no chance.
Yeah, I'll tune in to watch Taylor Swift anyway, if nothing else. Throw in for Wolves. This is Totti Gomes. 10 yards outside his own penalty area, rolls it back into the feet of Sam Johnson. Wolves, who today are starting a run of 3 away games in a row. 2 tricky Premier League assignments to come next. I mean, you wouldn't fancy this run. They go away to Liverpool and then they go away to Bournemouth. And that's a tough run.
Really is, on the back of the run that they've had as well. I mean, you look at the games that they've had at this stage of the season, the defeat against Forest, defeat to Newcastle, defeat to Chelsea, defeat to Arsenal, and then they've got Villa at Molineux, and then that run that you've just said as well. It's a really tough point of the season for Wolves.
The game's coming thick and fast, as they say. Wolves in FA Cup action here in the 4th round. No goals yet at Ewood Park. Away at Blackburn Rovers for Wolverhampton Wanderers today. Totti Gomes' possession. Wolves, you can see, they're trying to be direct. They want to be the team setting the agenda. They want to be on the attack, but Blackburn have been full of energy to try and keep them at bay so far. Hwang, that's a good ball. Onto Gonçalo Guedes, but Forshaw's keeping close tabs on him. 10 yards outside the penalty area that Wolves attack. Nelson Semedo gets it wide out on the right-hand side, and he'll roll it into the feet of Santiago Bueno, and then it's back to the other central defenders as Agbadou gives it to Totti Gomes, gets it back again. Agbadou scanning the horizon, seeing if there's any obvious long distance pass to play, but instead opts to gives it short into the free roll of Mateus Cunha, who's just hovering around wherever he wants to be and trying to pick up little pockets of space. João Gomes for Wolves. Lots of possession, but not doing an awful lot with it. And, tough, apart from that long-range free kick that came in from Mateus Cunha, he's not had a proper shot to save yet as Bellegarde tries to attack down the right-hand side. Forshaw working hard to keep tabs at him, and Bellegarde didn't touch it. He allowed it out because he knew it was going for a corner. Corner to Wolves on the right-hand side, 0-0.
That's the exact point that the Wolves manager Vitor Pereira down below us on the touchline was trying to make to his team. Possession without purpose. You can see him there, he's throwing his arms about in a forward fashion, trying to get his wing backs forward, trying to get the ball forward. It's all well and good recycling possession, but at the moment it's all in front of Blackburn Rovers, not getting in behind them or creating chances.
If you're just joining our coverage, Blackburn have come closest to an opening goal here. Dominic Heim adjudged to have been just offside after a free kick. Here comes a set piece for the Premier League visitors Wolves. Mateus Cunha to take it. Far side of the pitch from us. Right hand side as Wolves come forward. Placing it towards Toti Gomez. Good leap though by Bath to win it in the air. Chance of a counter attack here. What a ball that is. Buckley plays it forward for Crozer-Dubry. Brilliant defending as Rodrigo Gomez kept tabs with him and made a tackle on the edge of the penalty area when it looked like Crozer-Dubry was going to be through one-on-one.
What a stunning ball that was. All came from Wolves' corner. Emmanuel Dennis played on the shoulder, played on the counter-attack. I think it was Danny Bath who played it on the half volley. It was an incredible pass right through the middle, played Emmanuel Dennis in, but it was Rodrigo Gomez. Rodrigo Gomez was incredible defending. The left wing back tucked in, he went stride for stride with Emmanuel Dennis, shoulder to shoulder, and won the ball back. Really good counter-attacking play by Blackburn, but what a through ball.
Yeah, I think it was John Buckley who hit the through ball.
Incredible, wasn't it?
As the kids say nowadays, he put a bit of swaz on that. He was sort of drilled through, but with sort of backspin in it, that it wouldn't roll too far ahead of Crozer-Dubry. Brilliant pass. I mean, that was a Premier League quality pass from John Buckley. And Blackburn will want to hope that they can show a bit more of that here today. Throw into Blackburn, right full-back position for Rankin Costello. The game's still properly warming up to speed this Sunday lunchtime. Blackburn Rovers 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. Action from the Six Nations and the other FA Cup ties to come later on. Meanwhile, in the Scottish Cup, Aberdeen Dunfermline, Kenny Crawford.
23 minutes gone, Aberdeen 0, Dunfermline 0, but the last 5 or 6 minutes or so has seen the Dons pepper that Dunfermline goalmouth. Kevin Nisbet, who used to play for Dunfermline, he's on loan from Millwall. He had a shot blocked for Aberdeen, and then Alexander Jensen, the Danish fullback, had a shot cleared off the line from the defender, Dunfermline rear guard as well. So Aberdeen pushing here at Pittodrie. Aberdeen 0, Dunfermline 0.
Thanks very much. As well as listening to the Aston Villa Tottenham game on 5 Live this afternoon, you can watch that game on BBC One, coverage at 5:20. There's Women's FA Cup coverage as well on the BBC Sport website and app here at Ewood Park. Blackburn repel another Wolverhampton Wanderers attack, and that's well kept in play, is it? Yes, it is, by Cargbo on the far side. He's just about managed to keep that into the penalty area. 2 step overs, drops his shoulder, goes down. Free kick for a dive. He's adjudged to have dived and he gets a yellow card, and remember, no video assistant referee. Cargbo jumps to his feet, head in hands. He can't believe he didn't get a penalty there. Felt to me in real time, Paul, that he had just taken it too far, but you can hear the boos in the background. The Ewood crowd Park feel that they've been wrong done by there.
You can normally tell by a player's reaction, by their body language after the decision is given, and he's still protesting when the referee has got his arms up in the air, head in his hands. Again, it's incredible pace by Cargbo down this left-hand side. Cuts inside 2 Wolves defenders. One of them just leaves a dangling foot. We're getting a close-up of it now. I say a close-up, the telly's about half a mile away on the roof. He goes over the right leg of Agbadu. Goes to ground. Referee's close enough. You're going to have to give the referee credit. You can't make out whether there was contact or not.
I think in the defender's, from his point of view, he stretches out his leg. That's then planted in the ground. Then Cargbo runs into the leg. It's not that the leg comes and kicks Cargbo.
He instigated the contact.
Yeah, correct.
The leg was there. But if that's a goalkeeper coming out and a striker does that with the goalkeeper, it's
correct.
Given.
And I'll tell you as well, Paul, he got a yellow card for that. You see, I don't think it's a penalty, but I also don't think it's a dive. He did have contact with the foot, instigated by him, and he went down, but that's not a dive. There was contact. So if he was to pick up another yellow and get sent off here, that could be quite a controversial issue as Blackburn come again. They're having a good spell here, Blackburn Rovers at 5 Live. 0-0 at Ewood Park against Wolves. Dennis gets it back on the edge of the penalty area, but he can't control it. And Nelson Semedo clears away. Wolves going long, trying to pick out Mateus Cunha, and it's cut out by Hyman. It goes out for a throw into Wolves, just in front of the dugouts down below us here. Left-hand side of the pitch as Wolverhampton Wanderers come forward.
Augustus Cargbo, he's looking a real find, isn't he, in this January transfer window. He's got electrifying pace. That's 2 or 3 times he's got in behind now. Had 2 or 3 strikes on goal. That penalty opportunity there. But the Blackburn Rovers players, you can see they're just getting to know, they're just getting to understand what they've got in their side. When you've got pace like that, in a similar way to Traore at Wolves and Fulham, the player that how quick he is.
Yeah, credit to Blackburn's scouting network, because they've picked up Augustus Cargbo, who's from Freetown, Sierra Leone. He was playing in Italy with Crotone, but had only made 1 substitute appearance for them this campaign, so they've obviously been watching the reserves games in Italy. He's only had a few minutes on the pitch in Serie A. He looks the business, he really does.
Do you know, I'm liking what he's doing as well. Wolves have got possession on this near side, and he's just keeping himself over there like an old-fashioned winger.
And that keeps the Wolves defence honest, because they can't creep forward too much. They know they've got to stay back And of course you can't be offside inside your own half, so he's entitled to sit as high as he wants as long as he remains inside Blackburn Rovers territory. Cruiser-Dubry tries to clear away here for Blackburn, but he's given it away to João Gomes. Wolves trying, as they have been doing since kick-off here, to move up a few gears, but they're finding the engine a bit sluggish this morning on the Premier League side. Toti Gomes gives it into Agbadou. Agbadou plays a little 1-2 with Bellegarde. Wolves, where they've spent most of their time in possession on the halfway line in this game. They've not been in around the Blackburn Rovers penalty area all that often. 28 minutes on the big stadium clock away to our right-hand side. Wolves playing right to left as we look down. This is 5 Live and BBC Sounds. The Emirates FA Cup. Wang with a little flick. Matheus Cunha nearly onto it, but well anticipated by Forshaw. Adam Forshaw, who is 33 now, had a bad spell of injuries at one stage in his career. He'll hope he's still got plenty in the tank, as slipped just as he tried to cross it by Rodrigo Gomes. Ended up being a poor delivery in, but Rankin Costello reacted awkwardly to it, and he's put it out for a corner kick. Corner kick to Wolves on the left-hand side as they come forward.
That's twice now Joe Rankin Costello's been exposed down this right-hand side, playing at right wing-back, coming into the team today. Matheus Cunha got past him earlier on. He's conceded a needless corner, and it's the last thing that Blackburn Rovers need, because they've started really well in this game.
First spotting of the day of a tinfoil attached to cardboard FA Cup behind the goal that Wolves are attacking here. That is one of the boxes you have to tick on any FA Cup weekend. As Matheus Cunha prepares to take this corner kick, there's a huddle of players in and right on top of the goalkeeper. That's where it is, in swinging into the side netting. Too much of a swing on it from Matheus Cunha there.
I prefer the tinfoil cardboard cutout FA Cups to the chicken. That was one of the last games that I played here. They cause less disruption.
Did they give you chicken? Did you get a few chicken freebies from the Venkies when you were a Blackburn player?
I just remember one awful TV advert we had to do.
Oh, you do an advert? I'm YouTubing that.
If you ever can't sleep, or if you ever got a lot of time on your hands, do Google it. It's rather funny.
Brilliant. Paul Robinson selling chicken.
Not just me. There was a number of us in the first team dressing room. It wasn't a comfortable situation.
Endorsing the chicken. As Forshaw here controls with his head, but he's given it straight away to João Gomes in the midfield. João Gomes falls. Blackburn get possession. Cantwell tried to release Cruiser-Dubry, but his pass is cut out, and that's a nice movement by Nelson Semedo to weave away from Forshaw, to accelerate down the right hand side. Guedes is with him, returns it to Nelson Semedo into the penalty area, cut it back, looking for Matheus Cunha. Too many Blackburn Rovers defenders back there, and Yuri Ribeiro is able to clear away. Blackburn so far dealing comfortably with whatever Wolves have been able to throw at them here in this opening half an hour.
He just didn't look up Semedo. It was a really good interchange between him and Guedes. 1-2, Semedo gets himself to the byline and he just smashes it across the 6-yard box. If he'd have looked up, Cunha had pulled himself away 6-10 yards out, and he was completely free.
Today the first time these clubs have met in the FA Cup since they contested the 1960 final against each other, a final that Wolves won 3-0 at Wembley, and a free kick is given to Blackburn here inside their own half amid much protest from Bellegarde, who's deemed to be the guilty party there. Jean-Rickner Bellegarde, the Frenchman who scored against Aston Villa, got the opening goal last weekend at Molineux. Up to 4 Premier League goals for Wolves now since joining the club early last season. For Bellegarde, just a bit of a delay in play as the Blackburn player gets back to his feet, but it will be a free kick to Rovers inside their own half. It's Ribeiro who gets up, just holding his lower back, but he's okay. He's walking again, and he's going to be fine. Free kick is taken, short back to Toth.
Looks a good addition, Ribeiro. Him at left back, left wing back in Cargbo. They could become a decent partnership for Blackburn going forward for the second half of the season.
They've certainly freshened things up on their left-hand side. The two new signings, Ribeiro, Cargbo, alongside each other. Here's Hwang, edge of the penalty area, pushes it for João Gomes, tries to get the shot, it goes over the line. I thought the keeper had it saved, but he couldn't hold it, and agonisingly for Blackburn, that trickled and just about crept over the goal line. Wolverhampton Wanderers take the lead at Ewood Park in the FA Cup with really their first proper attempt on target. The goalkeeper, well, Paul, you'll give us the expert view, but he does not look happy in the aftermath of that. Blackburn 0, Wolves 1.
No, you called it completely right, Connor. The goalkeeper's read a real mess of that. Blackburn Rovers in comfortable position, trying to play out onto the left-hand side, lose possession, turn over. Wolves, to their credit, do it very, very quickly. Blackburn get an opportunity to win it back on the edge of the box, but it comes on the angle to João Gomez, and it's the softest of toe pokes. There's no real power in it whatsoever. Goalkeeper's in good position, he's got a clear sight of the ball. Squirms under his body. I'm not so sure how that gets under his body. It's a really poor one from the goalkeeper. It's between, he dives with his left hand, between his left hand and his left foot. It's an awkward area, but it shouldn't squeeze through that. It's a really poor goal to concede.
It goes through the legs of a defender, but even still, feels like the goalkeeper had a view of that. It's just in that down low to his left position. He didn't want to fall, couldn't get down quick enough, and a tame trickle of a shot from João Gomez goes in underneath the goalkeeper to give Premier League Wolves the lead here at Ewood Park. It's João Gomez's second goal of the season, scored against Fulham in the Premier League in November. Here comes Hwang now on the attack. Wolves will feel the shackles are off a little bit here now that they've got themselves in front. Bellegarde, Mateus Cunha, side of goal, 2! Wolves are in full flight here. Blackburn Rovers, who've done so well in the opening half an hour at home, have crumbled with a disastrous 2 or 3 minute spell in which they've conceded twice, and as soon as the ball came to Mateus Cunha there, the form that he is in, that was odds on to find the back of the net. It's Blackburn Rovers 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2.
Well, they've imploded in the space of 2 minutes, Blackburn Rovers. They've done so well in this game, but Wolves got the noses in front and they've capitalised again. And it's that man we speak so much about, Mateus Cunha. It's a ball over the top, a run timed perfectly from the halfway line, in behind the Blackburn Rovers defence. Ball cut across the 18-yard box into the path of Cunha on this right-hand side. He's got so much quality. Takes it first time on the angle. Again, the goalkeeper could be questioned. It's not an error, it's not a glaring error from the goalkeeper, but he's beaten on the angle from 7-8 yards out. He falls down to his backside, doesn't stay up, doesn't dive across. It's a lovely finish by Cunha, but 2 goals that could have been avoided from Blackburn Rovers' point of view. Wolves fans over to our right, absolutely delirious. 2 goals, 2 minutes.
João Gomez scored in the 33rd minute. Mateus Cunha has scored in the 34th. And an amazing, rapid turn of events here. You would not say that Wolves had been on top. In the blink of an eye, they've got a 2-goal lead.
Blackburn have been the better team. You know, that's not exaggerating. Wolves have had good possession without really hurting Blackburn at times. Blackburn have had clearly the better chances, with Cargbo, Kozadubri causing problems in the wide areas. And that's a real sucker punch, a real blow for Blackburn. OK, concede the 1, but don't concede again.
That is 12 goals this season for Mateus Cunha. Here he comes forward again, rolling the ball to João Gomez, attacking the edge of the D, tackled by Todd Cantwell. As Blackburn try to play their way out of the final third, but their confidence looks brittle and fragile now. They had been giving this veneer of confidence and strength, but those 2 goals have shattered so much for Blackburn, and it feels an enormous task for them now against Premier League opposition for Blackburn Rovers to try and get back into this. It's incredible how the whole narrative of the game has changed utterly and so quickly.
Didn't see it coming though, did we?
No.
I mean, you were sat watching the game and you're thinking, 30 minutes in, Blackburn are playing really well, looking at the new signings, looking at how solid they look defensively, organised, breaking up play, making the game hard and bitty when it came to it. But then Wolves, 2 pieces of Premier League quality.
Mistake by Mateus Cunha. Buckley gets the ball for Blackburn. They're working it out to Cargbo. His new teammates have realised how good he is and they want to get him on the ball all the time. Cargbo just outside the penalty area, left-hand side. Nelson Semedo, the nearest defender to him. Cargbo tries to take him on again. He loves to drop a shoulder, Cargbo. He's helped out by Todd Cantwell here. Could Blackburn get one back ahead of half-time? 2-0 to Wolves at Ewood Park on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Forshaw plays it into the penalty area. Too high for Emmanuel Dennis. Headed out by Rodrigo Gomez, only as far as Rankin Costello. Blackburn will remain on the attack here. Kozadubri, that's a good ball into Emmanuel Dennis, back to Rankin Costello, cross the face of goal, and sliding in was Cargbo, but it's wide. It goes across and flashes in front of Cargbo, and I don't know if he was trying to shoot it into the bottom corner. I think that was intended as a cross by Rankin Costello, but agonisingly for Blackburn, he couldn't pick out one of his teammates there.
No conviction whatsoever from Rankin Costello. Lovely play, 1-2 with him and Kozadubri. Connor, we've just seen that down the other end with Mateus Cunha. Exactly the same position. Mateus Cunha puts his head down, puts his laces through it. It's 2-0, rifles it into the bottom corner. Blackburn at the other end, kind of half-hearted, cross shot, neither or. It was a really poor attempt.
That is the classic caught in two minds. It occurs to him, I can shoot here, I can cross. And he ended up with an ineffective hybrid version of the two of them. Joe Rankin-Costello, who has scored a couple of goals in the Championship this season. Most recently, he scored against Plymouth in October. That's an opportunity, and the quick nature of the two Wolves goals, if Blackburn could get one back quickly, it might cause a bit of doubt to creep in for Wolverhampton Wanderers, but as it is, their 2-goal lead is intact. Here comes Augustus Cargbo today. He's been worth the entrance fee alone so far. Attacking the edge of the penalty area. Mateus Cunha is back, lunges in a bit rashly, right on the edge of the box. It's going to be a corner. I thought there was no need for Cunha to get up off the ground and lunge the way he did there, but it's a corner to Blackburn on the far side.
It was a good tackle. It had to be a good tackle by Mateus Cunha. He looks up for this in fair play. The goal that he's got, the tackle that he makes there, he actually tackles with his wrong foot, with his left foot, but he's back inside his own 10 yards of the pitch, defending, corner to Blackburn.
Yeah, it's to be admired about Mateus Cunha. He's Brazilian, he wears number 10, he's got all the flicks and tricks, but he works hard too. Gets back to help out the defence when he needs to, as Cantwell sends in the corner. Headed down is just wide. That's Emmanuel Dennis looking for a debut goal. Did well, he's not the tallest. He got up, he got his head on it, he tried to plant it into the bottom right-hand corner, and it's a few inches wide of the target.
Another good set play by Rovers. They had the goal ruled out earlier on in the game for offside. Another good delivery from the corner. That time Emmanuel Dennis gets his head on it, goes narrowly wide of Sam Johnson's left-hand post. But there is a route back into the game for Blackburn. They just can't afford to concede.
Yeah, they didn't react well to going 1-0 down, Blackburn Rovers. They immediately conceded a second, but they've actually reacted well to the second. Here comes Rodrigo Gomez into the penalty area, swings it in. There's appeals that Forshaw handled it. Referee was right beside that and says no. Round the world, followed by a nutmeg from Todd Cantwell, and he's lucky because he nearly lost the ball there. That was circus trick stuff from Cantwell. There's a time and a place. I'm not sure edge of your own penalty area is the time or the place, and he's quite relieved to get the free kick at the end there.
The edge of your own penalty area surrounded by 4 Wolves players. Step over nutmegs. That was audacious to say the least.
I remember the Venky's first came in, they announced they were going to try and sign Ronaldinho for Blackburn Rovers. I think that's what we would have got if Ronaldinho had come here to Ewood Park. But Todd Cantwell did the little Maradona trick around the world. Then he did a nutmeg, and he was relieved to hear the referee's whistle that he had been fouled. Bristol City, Swansea City in the Championship. Here's Aaron Paul.
Bristol City 0, Swansea City 1. They've been pushing for it, have Swans, and Josh Tymon has broken the deadlock. The initial shot, not sure if it was from Jan Vapotnik. It looks like it was from Vapotnik, parried away by O'Leary, but there was Tymon, acres of space, goal gaping, just to smash home in front of those Swansea fans. Ashton Gate stunned, Bristol City 0, Swansea 1.
Thanks very much, Aaron. Here at Ewood Park, Blackburn Rovers 0, Wolves 2. We've got 5 minutes to go to half-time. Blackburn conceding both of their goals in this 15 minutes before half-time. Most goals conceded in that window of any team in the FA Cup this season. What a ball that is. Mateus Cunha up towards Hwang. Nelson Semedo tries to keep it going. Guedes outside him. He goes down looking for a free kick. Danny Bat did not foul him. Referee says play on. But then Cargbo is tackled, and Wolves will get the chance to remain on the attack here. Santiago Bueno to the byline. He wants a corner. He's not going to get it. Goal kick to Blackburn, who still trail here by 2-0.
Looking at Mateus Cunha down here on the near side. He's enjoying himself today, isn't he? He's been given that free roll by Vitor Pereira in the role behind Hwang, but actually he's been allowed to roam free wherever he wants to go. Got his goal, made a couple of really important blocks, and that through ball was exceptional.
We said, Paul, when the teams came out, he was a surprise to be in the starting lineup today. I think we can see why he's playing. He's so clearly up for it. He wants to be involved. He wants to keep his goal-scoring run going, and you can see why Vitor Pereira will say, yeah, look, while you're in that form, keep the river flowing. Here is Adam Crozier-Dewberry. Nice turn inside the centre circle. Delivers it out to Cargbo. 10 yards outside the penalty area. Bearing down to the box that Wolves defend. Tried to figure to Ribeiro. I think would have been an offside position if that got through to him anyway. Blackburn hold on to possession. Buckley, Mario Crozier-Dewberry into Emmanuel Dennis just outside the D. Tight. With so many opponents around him, he shuffled it out to Rankin-Costello, who tries to cross it in, and it comes off a defender, and it goes out by the corner flag, but not for a corner. A throw into Blackburn Rovers, who trail here 2-0.
So long as this stays 2-0, there's a way back into this for Blackburn Rovers. They've had the goal disallowed, the opportunities from set plays, and in Cargbo, they've got a real threat on that left-hand side.
Here comes Rankin-Costello, tries to get into the penalty area, he's taken down. It's going to be a free kick. Challenge was outside the box. Free kick in the position of a short corner in hockey. This is by the byline, just outside the penalty area, right hand side. Can Blackburn work a bit of set piece magic here? Could they get a goal to half the deficit ahead of half time? The Wolves' second goal came 39 seconds after Blackburn kicked off the restart, having conceded the first. 39 seconds, that's remarkable.
And bar those two attempts, you look at attempts on target from Wolves, nothing to report before those two efforts. Blackburn had the better of the opportunities.
You've got to take your chances as John Buckley prepares to take this free kick. Wide on the right hand side for Blackburn. His teammates are back post from where this free kick is going to come. He's got Crozer-Dubry available if he wanted to cut it back to him just on the edge of the box. No opponent within 10 yards of him, but you'd imagine that Buckley will swing this in along the edge of the 6-yard box, hoping it ricochets in off someone. Here it comes, short run up, lofts it towards that back post. And Guedes should clear here, just bounced away from him a little awkwardly. Good turn by Crozer-Dubry, chance maybe for him to shoot, has a little trick up his sleeve. Here is Emmanuel Dennis, allows it to bounce. Angle was really tight. Tell you what, he did well to get the shot on target. That was so tight, and it goes off the knee of Sam Johnston and out for a corner kick to Blackburn. Blackburn, who may be 2-0 down, but they're finishing this first half the stronger.
That's a good strike by Emmanuel Dennis there. He got an eye for goal and he knows where it is. Didn't even look, hit it hard and sharp on the turn. Sam Johnson, all he had to do was time. That's all time he had to do. Put his knees together and help it out for a corner.
Todd Cantwell to take the corner, wearing the gloves. Blackburn fans all up on their feet down around that corner area. That's the end where the Wolves fans are housed behind the goal. Here comes the delivery from Cantwell, high and lofted and touched away by Guedes on the edge of the box, and Blackburn regained possession, but they're back closer to the halfway line now as Ribeiro plays it forward. All his teammates are still up in the attack. Emmanuel Dennis close to being offside. Referee says play on. Agbadou goes down, free kick to Wolves. That relieves a bit of pressure as the clock trickles over the 45-minute mark, and the fourth official comes out with his board and is about to tell us that one solitary minute is going to be added on here ahead of half-time at Ewood Park.
He's a player, is Emmanuel Agbadou. He's a real player. He's going to be a great addition for Wolves. Looks very cool, calm, collective. He's an organiser as well as a leader. He had Cargbo and Emmanuel Dennis chasing him down there inside his own 18-yard box. Put his arm out, showed a lot of strength. Cruyff turned, won his team a free kick.
There's a Wolves player, it's Hwang, who's down, sort of just down his haunches like he's winded or something like that, but maybe something more severe because he's asking for the physio to come on. So Hwang getting some treatment here inside this 1 minute that was due to be added on for stoppages at the end of the first half. If you're just joining our coverage on 5 Live, Blackburn, funnily enough, have done well here, but they're 2-0 down, 2 goals in the space of 2 minutes. João Gomes, Mateus Cunha, in the flash of an eye, it completely has turned in Wolves' favour on the scoreboard. Blackburn, who have looked sharp, particularly their new recruits, Ribeiro, Carbo, Dennis, they've all had good first halves here, but that Premier League quality has shown in the key moments. Not that Wolves have been dominant or anything, but when they had a couple of opportunities, they took them, and they've got a 2-goal lead here as we approach half-time on 5 Live. We'll be building up to the Six Nations to come later on this afternoon. Ireland in Edinburgh to take on Scotland. More FA Cup action throughout the day, of course. Plymouth hosting Liverpool, and Aston Villa against Tottenham is the 5:35 kick-off today. And the live sport continuing right through till the early hours in 5 Live. We've got the Super Bowl to come later on this evening.
Key moments, I think, is what you said, Connor, and that's exactly what this game has been pivoted on. The 2 key moments, Wolves made the most of them, and the opportunities that Blackburn have had, they've not looked the most clinical. They've probably the final third, the final pass, the decision making in the final third from Blackburn's probably let them down. But actually the Premier League quality that Wolves have shown, the goalkeeper for Blackburn, real error for the first goal, but then Cunha, really good position on the angle, smashes it into the bottom right hand corner, and in those 2 flashes of instance, it looks like they've won the first half.
All right, Hwang is going to have to go off. Wolves will finish this first half with 10 men. There's only seconds remaining. There's a goal at Pittodrie. Kenny Crawford.
And it's a goal for the home side in the first minute of added time in the first half. Aberdeen 1, Dunfermline 0. Papa Gueye, the striker from Senegal, getting his head on the end of Ante Palaversa's free kick from the right hand side and planting it past Toby Oluwayemi and making it 1-0 to Aberdeen against Dunfermline.
Thanks very much. So Wang has gone off. Wolves won't bring on a substitute, even if they are going to replace him. They'll wait for the half-time whistle to go any moment now. Live football continuing tomorrow. We'll bring you Doncaster against Crystal Palace. All the build-up from 7 o'clock with Steve Crossman. Then there's Champions League on Tuesday and Wednesday. Manchester City play Real Madrid on Tuesday, and it'll be Celtic against Bayern on Wednesday. Big week of European action to come here on 5 Live. As Mateus Cunha has possession for Wolves, plays it off Emmanuel Dennis, out for a Wolverhampton Wanderers throw. And those goals from Joe Gomez and Mateus Cunha on the verge of sending Wolves in with a 2-goal lead here at Ewood Park at half-time. Just waiting for the throw-in. There was 2 Wolves players, both with balls in their hand, both getting ready to take the throw-in there. Mateus Cunha waves the younger Rodrigo Gomez away, and he takes the throw down that left flank, cut out by Mario Crozer-Dubry. Blackburn get it back, all the way back to the goalkeeper Toth, who's not had his most comfortable 45 minutes of football. He's only made 1 championship appearance this season, the Hungarian goalkeeper. Rankin Costello has it. Is there time for one last attack here? Tries the crossfield ball, and he picks out Cargbo. Everything's going through Cargbo for Blackburn now. He's got Ribeiro outside him. Cargbo now goes on an overlapping run of his own. Nelson Semedo will slide. He should get in there. That's very good defending from Nelson Semedo. Didn't touch the ball, shielded it out, and that is the final action of the first half. So life can be a bit cruel sometimes. For Blackburn, they've not been second best by many parameters here, but those 2 goals from Wolves have been absolutely ruthless, and it's the Premier League side that lead 2-0 at the break. Paul Robinson.
Yeah, I don't think the scoreline's a true reflection of the game. Actually, if you look at the stats, you look at the possession, yeah, heavily weighted in Wolves' favour, but the opportunities that Blackburn have had, especially down that left-hand side, the 2 new players, Ribeiro, Cargbo, really good combination of relationships building there, the chances that they've had, and as I said in commentary, the final third is what's let Blackburn down. Let's not forget they had a goal ruled out for offside. We haven't been able to decide how clear and obvious that was, whether it wasn't or not, because we haven't got the VAR here. But they have had opportunities, Blackburn, from set plays, from the wide areas. They've created chances, and they'll be very disappointed to go in 2-0 down at half-time.
Yeah, they've got to keep the chins up, Blackburn. They've been good enough to compete here, but Wolves very grateful for this scoreline, Steve. Blackburn Rovers 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2.
Yeah, it's a really good cup tie, Paul, which from a neutral's perspective would have been even better if not for a bit of a howler from the Blackburn keeper. Yeah,
he made a real mess of it, Steve, didn't he? I think the more that you see it, it wasn't much more than a toe poke from Joe Gomez at the far post. There was no real pace on it. He's gone down slow. He's gone down in what we used to say instalments.
That's the one.
He's gone down just by his left leg. It was in between his hand and his leg, and he went with neither. Sometimes you see the goalkeepers making the save with the side of the foot, but actually this shot had no power on it whatsoever. He wasn't able to do that. Then he decided to change his technique, go with his hand, ended up doing neither, and it just looks a real mess.
Cargbo's obviously a lot of fun. He just in terms of his running style and the step overs, and also kind of physically with that sort of stance that he's got. It reminds me a bit of Willie Gnonto.
Steve, he's a player. He really is a player. Where the Blackburn scouts have found him from, he looks like he's going to be an exceptional signing. And like I said to you, he stays out on that left-hand side. There's no thought to drift in. There's no thought to join in and try and link up the play in the middle. He's an outlet every time, and every time that Blackburn break up possession, the turnover possession, they look for him, they get the ball to him, and his first thought, like I said, he just wants to go, he wants to run. Whether there's any end product there or not, we're yet to see. That will come in the coming weeks. At the moment, he looks a real live wire, he looks sharp, and he looks dangerous. The end product goes with that. They've got a player on their hands.
And for Wolves, Connor, Mateus Cunha just wants to be involved in absolutely everything all over the pitch.
Yeah, I'm a massive fan of Mateus Cunha. A little bit like Paul is saying, is there a weakness to his game? The way we think, you look at a Cargbo and you see there's so many positivities. Well, why hasn't anyone else signed him? With Mateus Cunha, is there something that the real elite clubs don't like about it? Because everything I see, the work rate, the attitude, the passion, the skill, that audacious look. He's always thinking a little bit outside the box, trying to take on something that isn't routine. But when it comes to routine stuff, he does that too. He's such an important player for Wolves.
Thanks both. Really interesting half. Does not feel like this cup tie is over, even though at half-time it's Championship Blackburn 0, Wolves of the Premier League 2. What about Bristol City Swansea in the Championship, Aaron Paul?
Bristol City 0, Swansea 1. Ashton Gate still reeling from that smash and grab Josh Tymon goal we saw about 5 or so minutes ago. Liam Manning has responded. He's introduced Sinclair Armstrong and George Earthy on loan for West Ham United, but you can sense the frustration. Swansea willing to sit in, they're willing to strike on the counter, and crucially they have a 1-goal lead. Bristol City 0, Swansea 1.
In the Women's FA Cup, Crystal Palace of the WSL against second-tier Newcastle United is currently 0-0 after 23 minutes. It's half-time in the game between Rugby Borough of the Women's National League Northern Premier and WSL Liverpool. And at the moment, that one is still goalless. So Rugby Borough going for a massive upset this afternoon. That is the fifth round, which is the same stage that we're at in the Men's Scottish Cup. Aberdeen-Dunfermline's reached half-time. Kenny Crawford.
Yeah, Steve, half-time Aberdeen 1, Dunfermline 0. The headed goal by Senegalese forward Papa Gueye. The difference here in the Granite City, his 7th of the season, competently meeting Ante Palaversa's free kick seconds before half-time. The Dons have dominated and eventually shown some cutting edge. They're searching for what would only be their second win in 16 games. Half-time Aberdeen 1, Dunfermline 0.
In the Women's Scottish Premiership, there's only 23 minutes gone, but Glasgow City already lead Montrose by 3-0. If it stayed like that, it would take them top on goal difference above Celtic, who don't play this afternoon. Rangers play Aberdeen later. Queen's Park play Hibs and Motherwell play Spartans. The other live score is Hearts 1, Partick Thistle 0. We're playing again in the cricket, Dan.
We are. We had about 35 minutes off for floodlight failure, which is about the only thing that could stop India's rampant charge for the 305 that they need. But they are currently 57 without loss. We've only had an over since they've come back. And there's a bit of drama going on now as we've got a review for an LBW. Rohit Sharma's been going well. He's on 36 with 2 fours, 3 sixes, just 23 balls faced. But he's been pinned in front of the stumps by Mark Wood. England have decided to review it. And in a couple of minutes' time, I'll be able to tell you whether England have got their first wicket or not. It's 57 for none, coming up to halfway through the 8th over.
Thank you very much, Dan. Things nearly got worse for Bristol City at Ashton Gate, Aaron.
My word, Eom Sung with a fabulous opportunity to put Swansea 2 up, but for a great save by Max O'Leary and a bit of fortuitous positioning from our referee. Bristol City would be in all sorts of trouble. Great ball in from the net. Sung in plenty of space. He catches it sweetly on the volley. It's straight at the keeper. Good reaction save from O'Leary. But then the referee just blocking Josh Tymon as he had a clean strike on goal, and the ball is able to trick away. Tymon losing it with the man in the middle. And Bristol City just counting their blessings there. 20 to go. Bristol City 0, Swansea 1.
Not out in the cricket, by the way. Didn't hit it, but it was umpire's call. So Rohit survives 36 off 24. India 57 for now, chasing 305 to win. We'll be at Arsenal and Manchester City ahead of their Women's FA Cup ties, and we'll be at Murrayfield for the first time this afternoon. Remember, once we're done at Ewood Park, it'll be full commentary in the Six Nations of Scotland versus Ireland. We'll do all of that before second half commentary from Ewood. Let's get the news now on 5 Live with Isabel.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Labour has confirmed that offensive messages sent by the sacked Health Minister Andrew Gwynn are being investigated. The MP for Gorton and Denton and Manchester has apologised for derogatory remarks posted in a WhatsApp group, which were published in the Mail of Sunday. He's been suspended by Labour. Here's our political correspondent Rajdeep Sandhu.
One of them that the paper has published says Mr. Gwynn hoped a 72-year-old woman would soon be dead after writing to her local councillor about bin collections. He also made a joke about a constituent being mown down by a truck.
The government says it wants to speed up the process of buying a house by using more digital documents. Ministers say paper documents cause delay. The property website Rightmove says it takes 5 months on average from an offer being accepted to moving in. President Trump has suggested he's spoken by phone to Vladimir Putin about trying to end the war in Ukraine. The Kremlin would neither confirm nor deny the reports. Kyiv's former foreign minister Dmytro Kuleba said it was unlikely the US could negotiate an end to the war anytime soon.
This will be a much more difficult nut to crack, given interests of the sides in this war, given Putin's conviction that he is winning and all he has to do is outfox Trump and buy more time in order to capture more Ukrainian territories and weaken the Ukrainian state. Again, I don't see that happening.
Israel has pulled its forces out of a key corridor in central Gaza. The Netzarim corridor divides the territory into north and south sections. The removal of Israeli forces was a condition of the hostage and ceasefire deal in Gaza. And Sony's PlayStation online services are back up and running. The Japanese group apologised for the 24-hour failure but gave no further details. The issue prevented people from playing online multiplayer games like Call of Duty and Fortnite.
I feel like I'm going to the Super Bowl.
Tonight, Super Bowl 59 rolls into New Orleans.
And the kickoff is out of the end zone, right down the middle.
NFC champions, the Philadelphia Eagles, led by Jalen Hurts, are taking on AFC champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, who are looking to win their third Super Bowl in a row.
The Chiefs are back-to-back Super Bowl champions.
Join NFL expert Greg Brady, former Pittsburgh Steeler Christian Scotland Williamson, and me, Stefan Powell. Super Bowl 59. Hear it all right here on 5 Live tonight from 11:30.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is 5 Live Sport.
The FA Cup with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Blackburn Rovers 0, Wolves 2. Second half commentary from Ewood on the way shortly. In the Women's FA Cup, it's still Crystal Palace of the WSL 0, Newcastle United of the Championship 0. At 3 o'clock, the WSL leaders Chelsea play Everton. There are 3 games kicking off at 2. We've got an all-championship tie between Portsmouth and Sunderland. The 14 times winners Arsenal host second in the Championship, London City Lionesses. Emily Herbert's at Meadow Park.
And it's David versus Goliath as Arsenal take on London City, a club founded just 6 years ago. The Gunners aiming to bounce back after FA Cup exit midweek and go for some much-needed silverware. 4 changes for them. A debut for new signing Jenna Niswonger. McCabe returns from suspension. No Beth Mead in the squad. London City Lionesses, well, they've received significant investment in their bid for WSL promotion, and it's paying off. Second in the Championship and are yet to concede in this competition. Also 4 changes for them. Arsenal loanee Tia Goldie starts against her parent club, and Izzy Goodwin leads the line.
There's an all-WSL tie as well at the Joy Stadium. Manchester City, Leicester City. Mike Minor.
Yeah, afternoon, Steve. Very windy, very bitingly cold Joy Stadium this afternoon. Manchester City targeting this one a little like their male counterparts, with the league looking well out of reach. The FA Cup presents a strong chance of silverware, as does the League Cup, in which the Blues made the final in midweek. 2 changes from the most recent of the double-header meetings with Arsenal. Lazel and Miedemar go to the bench, while Harby and Park come in. Leicester have made 8 changes from the side beaten heavily by Everton in the WSL last weekend. Only their captain Tierney plus Kane and Momiki remain.
Thank you, Mike. Our focus from 3 o'clock will be full commentary in the 6 nations of Scotland versus Ireland from Murrayfield. We can say hello to our commentator, Sarah Orchard.
Hi, Steve.
Hello. Scotland want this one so badly.
Yeah, they do. If anyone doesn't know the statistic by now, I think I've said it about 20 times this week, and Scotland are fed up of hearing it. So Ireland have won this fixture the last 10 times. The last time that Scotland won this match was back in 2017 here at Murrayfield, when they were then coached under Vern Cotter. So basically, current coach Gregor Townsend has never beaten Ireland. It's such a bogey side for them. And it's something they would just love to end. But this is a really good Irish outfit. So, you know, if they're going to do it, they're going to have to do it the hard way.
Ireland have had a big injury blow with no Mac Hansen, though, on the eve of the game being ruled out.
Yeah, that's right. He was touch and go already, because he picked up a laceration on his leg actually during that match against England last week. So they didn't know if he was going to be named. He was. And then we heard late yesterday that actually he's got a bit of a hamstring problem that's actually ruled him out. So coming in is Calvin Nash of Munster, the winger, made his debut back in the build-up to the 23 World Cup, although he didn't go on that. And he's slowly been building the Cats. But yeah, when it comes to calibre of player, there is a bit of a difference between Calvin Nash and Mac Hansen. And maybe Simon Easterby, the interim Ireland head coach, wanted to hold that back for a little bit, because he possibly could be a bit targeted.
You're going to have with you a man later on who has been in a Scotland winning team against Ireland at home and away, in Johnny Beattie. When you look at this Scotland team, how well prepared are they, do you think, to really push Ireland, who do start as big favourites?
Well, this is the issue with Scotland. If we were coming into this and Sione Tuipulotu was playing, arguably Scott Cummins as well, who were ruled out before the tournament started, you would say that this is Scotland's opportunity. Those injuries are so significant, particularly Tuipulotu, ensuring up that centre partnership. You know, we called it Hugh Pilotu between Sione and Hugh Jones as well. You know, when you've got your own moniker, you know you're onto something good. The fact that he's been ruled out, and ultimately Gregor Townsend is tinkering at the moment with this midfield partnership. We've got Tom Jordan starting at 12 today. It was Stafford McDowell last week. These things are slightly untested, but when you've played with someone week in, week out, it is so much easier. But the theory here is that Tom Jordan comes in, he played a lot of his rugby at fly half at Glasgow. He helped them win the URC last season. So there is a little bit of a relationship there with Hugh Jones. It's whether he can support Finn Russell in perhaps the way he wasn't quite enough last week against Italy. This is an opportunity for them. The biggest test for Scotland for me is not this first half of rugby, it's the second half, and it's the danger of the Ireland bench, which in particular, that is what tripped England up last week.
And given that England have beaten France, that means that for one of these two teams, I mean possibly both, but the likelihood is they'll be the only remaining unbeaten side.
Someone's going to lose their O.
That's
there we go.
one.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I was thinking just that as I was making my comments on social media a little bit earlier. Yeah, there'll only be one side technically left by the end of the 80 minutes here at Murrayfield that can go on and try and get a grand slam. And everyone knew how tight that this Six Nations was going to be. But there's still big games ahead for both sides. Scotland will finish their campaign away at the Stade de France on the final weekend. Ireland have still got to welcome France over as well. So as much as this match is important, every match in the Six Nations is important.
Great stuff, Sarah. Thank you very much indeed. Cannot wait for that. 3 o'clock, full commentary, Scotland versus Ireland. Sarah, your commentator, who'll have Donncha O'Callaghan and Johnny Beattie with her. Let's go back to the Championship. Bristol City Swansea. Aaron.
12 to go. Bristol City 0, Swansea 1. Bristol City with their best opportunity of this second half by Shaw. Sam Bell on as a substitute, drilling a shot towards goal. Fingertip save by Lawrence Vigouroux, able to tip it onto the post. Zach Viner had a follow-up shot that was blocked. But it is all Bristol City at the moment. Swansea sitting in. They have a crucial 1-goal lead here. Bristol City 0, Swansea 1.
India 75 for 0 off 9.4, chasing England's 305, and we're ready to go at Ewood. Connor.
Yeah, thanks very much. Back underway. Wolverhampton Wanderers of the Premier League leading Championship Blackburn Rovers here at Ewood Park by 2-0 at half-time. It's a scoreline that doesn't quite reflect the full story, though, of this game so far. Blackburn, who've played well, who scored what looked to be a pretty decent goal, and I haven't seen clear-cut replays of it or anything I've seen. Seems a little bit long distance, but Paul, you reckon you've seen a still that suggests that Blackburn's goal might well have been onside, that maybe that should have counted. The game was 0-0 at that stage. That might have had a completely different narrative of the afternoon had Blackburn Rovers taken the lead. We're back underway for the second half, but the 2 goals from Wolves, very quick succession. Maybe Blackburn will be living to regret that offside goal not being allowed.
We all see stills, don't we? And we all stop the play when we like, and you get these videos and these clips that you see. But certainly the videos and the still images that we saw in the press lounge at half time, it would suggest that they were onside for the Blackburn goal from the free kick. The far post header, it was very, very tight if it wasn't.
No VAR, so the on-field decision stood without any further scrutiny. And Blackburn getting their goals through João Gomes and Mateus Cunha and leading 2-0. Wolves have made 2 changes over half-time. Matt Doherty has come on in place of Santiago Bueno. Now, Santiago Bueno was the only player on the field with a yellow card, so that might have been part of the deliberations there. Doherty, who has been a regular in the team in the Premier League for Wolves in recent months. And in attack, you might remember just before half-time, Wolves finished with 10 men because Hwang hobbled off injured. Well, he hasn't re-emerged for the second half. Pablo Sarabia has come on, the Spanish international, instead. So Sarabia and Doherty both on for Wolves in place of Hwang and Santiago Bueno.
Yeah, interesting to see how they're going to line up Wolves, whether they'd put Cunha up there as the 9, but it's actually Gonzalo Guedes who's gone out as a number 9. Hwang played there in the first half. It was almost a false 9, wasn't it? But Guedes is tasked with that in the second half.
Sort of unusual situation where no changes for Blackburn, and you feel John Eustace is kind of thinking, yeah, I just want my team to keep playing as they have been. And the reason I say it's unusual because they're 2-0 down, but they've been playing quite well. It's a funny cup tie.
Be a strange team talk for him. Keep doing what you're doing, but just don't concede 2 goals.
Yeah. Here's a cross into the penalty area from Buckley, who's been one of Blackburn's better players and reacting well off his goal line. Sam Johnson gathers and bowls it out all in one motion. Heavy touch for Sarabia, who goes down holding his face. Play on, says the referee. Dennis into the penalty area, gives it on to Cantwell, tries to take them all on. He had 4 defenders in front of him. Cantwell tried to barge his way through. Don't think that was the best decision. Wolves clear it away with Cunha on the left-hand side. 2-0 to Wolves.
Do you know what? That's brilliant, because Sarabia there went down from just a handoff from Emmanuel Dennis. Just caught the side of his face. No intent, no nothing, no elbow, no malice. Went down holding his face, rolling round. Then all of a sudden something twigged in his head. There's no VAR. I best get up and defend.
This is Cantwell laying the ball off to Forshaw. And now Heim will come forward. Cargbo, one of the standout players of the first half, tries to come in field. Nelson Semedo got good and close to him there. Wolves regain possession. They're still on the edge of their own penalty area. Sarabia has picked a really good pass to Guedes. Guedes is leading the Wolves attack now. Accelerates towards the Blackburn Rovers penalty area, and Heim gets back there to make the challenge to usher him out towards the corner flag. Last touch off Guedes goes for a throw into Blackburn Rovers right full back position for them. 2-0 to Wolves in the FA Cup here on 5 Live. We've got plenty more football and rugby and NFL Super Bowl to come here over the remaining hours of the day, as Ribeiro on his debut clears it away left-footed. Oh, he's giving it straight to Matt Doherty. Doherty infield to Joe Gomez. Chance to shoot. Instead he laid it to Mateus Cunha. Cunha wasn't expecting the pass, and it goes out for a goal kick. Yeah, Blackburn were cut open there. Very, very clever play against Joe Gomez that time. Just puts too much weight on the ball to Cunha. Cunha's in acres of space on the angle. You fear that a good ball into his path, that would have been the third. And it's going to be the oldest cliche in the book, Connor, but I'm going to use it. The next goal in this game is absolutely massive. Wolves get it, game over. Blackburn get it, we've got a real game on our hands. Yeah, it could be a long afternoon if Wolves get a third. Here's Guedes, on to Mateus Cunha, back into the penalty, Sarabia, Cunha, they almost got in each other's way there. Blackburn relieved as they clear. Well, certainly a thing we can say from a neutral point of view, this is a good open game. It is not getting bogged down in the midfield. It has been one end to the other. Let's go to Pittodrie. Aberdeen against Dunfermline. Kenny Crawford with a goal.
48 minutes gone, and we might be seeing a turning point in Aberdeen's season here. Aberdeen 2, Dunfermline 0. One of the January signings, Danish fullback Alexander Jensen. The ball came right across the box. The defenders all missed it. He was on the right edge and he thumped it low into the bottom left-hand corner. The Dons are in control. Aberdeen 2, Dunfermline 0.
Thanks very much. Wolves hoping they're in control here at Ewood Park, leading by 2-0 in the FA Cup 4th round. The draw, by the way, takes place tomorrow after the game at Doncaster, as Heim heads the ball back to Balzas Toth. Blackburn will build their way out from the back, away to our right hand side. Cantwell to Rankin Costello, who had a good opportunity in the first half when he got in to a position which Paul correctly described as being almost identical to where Mateus Cunha shot from, but it was a hybrid. It was a shot come cross from Rankin Costello, and he wasn't able to trouble Wolverhampton Wanderers with that. Here he is on the attack again. Rankin Costello roll low in towards the edge of the penalty area, but straight to Agbadou. Groans audible in the background from Blackburn fans as Wolves are able to clear it away, but they won't reach Sarabia, and the referee's whistle blows, and it's going to be a free kick to Wolves anyway. Free kick midway inside their own half. That was a strong challenge by Danny Batt there, straight through the back of Sarabia. Sarabia dropping deep, showing himself, trying to offer something to keep the possession. Batt just goes straight through the back of him. Coming up later on this afternoon, Plymouth against Liverpool is a 3 o'clock start. Plymouth last beat Liverpool in 1956, and it's Aston Villa against Tottenham. We'll have commentary of this one on 5 Live. 5:35 kickoff. Will Marcus Rashford make his Aston Villa debut? I don't know what you think, Paul. I think he's going to do okay, because I think motivation, attitude seems to be the problem, and if he can't have motivation in this scenario, God help him, but I think Rashford does okay. What do you think? Connor, it's a game that I'm really looking forward to listening to this afternoon, because there's so many subplots. Marcus Rashford being the main one, and you look at where he's been at Manchester United, you look at the noises, but actually with Unai Emery, you're not going to get away with anything other than attitude, application, desire, and working in his system. He'll be given a role and he'll be expected to work both ways. Here comes Cargbo rolling the ball in front of Emmanuel Dennis, nearly for Blackburn, nearly. Good defending again by Agbadou, just holding off Dennis, not allowing him to fully sprint after it there, and the goalkeeper Sam Johnston was able to come out and make the save. Blackburn are not giving up here. Their body language is good, their attitude and commitment remaining solid here, despite the fact they're trailing by 2-0 here in the FA Cup at Ewood Park on 5 Live. Long clearance by Johnston right down the centre of the field. Heim with the header, controlled by Cargbo. Oh, that's brilliant, lovely shift of balance to get away from the experienced Nelson Semedo, to roll it in front of Cantwell. Can Cantwell get the shot away? Out to Crozer Dubry, back to Cantwell, and he puts it over the crossbar. So close for Blackburn. That was a brilliant move, and they just couldn't finish it. Just that final pass in the final third, that last piece of decisiveness, the last decision. Again, Cargbo down this left-hand side. Why has nobody brought him to the UK shores sooner? He's brilliant. What a player he's going to be. Gets it forward into Cantwell, overhits the ball into Kozia Dubry, who then in turn cuts it back to Cantwell, fires it high and wide over the bar, but a really good move by Blackburn. I wonder if he could do it all again. Would Cantwell have let fly with a shot before he gave it to to Croser-Dewberry. In the end, it came back to him the second time and he blazed it over. But, you know, it's all if, buts and maybes. That shot ends up in the net and it would have been one of Blackburn's goals of the season. It was a really good move. 2-0 they trail. This is Croser-Dewberry on the far side. Nice footwork from him. Similar in stature to Cargbo at the other side. The two diminutive wingers who were fast and tricky as Wolves try to clear the ball away. Totti Gomez left-footed up towards the halfway line. Heim comes and wins the header. This is Matt Doherty for Wolves, but he shows too much of it to Forshaw. High transition of possession here. Ball turning over from one side to the other. Neither of them can keep it here. Just in the last 20 seconds, they've both had it about 4 times and they've given it away to each other 4 times. Yeah. This is Bellegarde.
That's something that Wolverhampton Wanderers can't get sucked into. They're the ones, the Premier League experience, the 2-goal lead. And as they are now, they're getting back into a shape, keeping the ball, rotating it around the back three. They should be the ones looking to dictate the pace of this game. Blackburn are the ones who want to make it messy, scrappy, high tempo, which they've done.
Ribeiro lunges in, gets a touch but can't hold on to possession. Wolves give it back to the goalkeeper Sam Johnson, who's hoping for his first clean sheet as a Wolverhampton Wanderers goalkeeper today. Sarabia turns, claims he's fouled. Referee says no. Sarabia is disgusted with that decision, waves his arms with disdain. Play on, says the referee. Emmanuel Dennis on his home debut. Here he goes, onto his left boot, shoots from outside the penalty area, takes a deflection, and Johnson gets across to ensure it doesn't go for a corner.
He's worked hard, Emmanuel Dennis, and he's had 2 coming into the side today. Lacks obviously match fitness, hasn't played for so long. Played a half, I think it was, for the under-23s in midweek before this game, just to get a little bit of sharpness. You wonder how long in this game he will last. You look at the bench that John Eustace has got. He's got options there, he can change it up, but his front 3-4 players, they've done really well this afternoon.
Emmanuel Dennis, who went back on loan at Watford back end of last season, scored 4 goals for them. Only started 6 league games for Nottingham Forest, who paid £20 million for him back in the summer of 2022. Here's Todd Cantwell for Blackburn, just outside the penalty area, foul by Guedes. Free kick to Blackburn, crossing position on the left-hand side. They're not giving up, the Championship side, but they need 2 goals here just to get this back on level terms. Was that a yellow card shown there? I'm not sure. It was a dramatic raise of the hand by the referee, but I think what he was doing was saying, I'm doing the spray, you know, that's sort of an indication rather than the yellow card. But the way he rose his hand, it was as if he was showing a booking.
John Eustace's team talks clearly worked, because Blackburn have come out and they've started the way that they played in the first half. He's probably done a job. He's had to pick his team up, because they'll be disappointed going in at 2-0 down, but actually he's had to get the message across. Look, you've actually done all right and you're still in this game. Don't concede and you're still in this game.
Blackburn preparing to make a change. Maktar Gueye, the Senegalese forward who has played in all but one of their games in the Championship this season, is getting ready to come on. Cantwell dangerously in towards the back post. Good goalkeeping from Johnstone. Got up and volleyball palmed it away out towards the corner flag, where the ball is still in play. Wolves trying to clear and they've lost possession, and maybe a chance for Blackburn here. Oh, the cross comes in too high for Cargbo. That's a real waste. Blackburn unable to take advantage of a mistake from Wolves, and the opportunity passes them by.
Again, it's the quality in the final third, it's the decision, it's the final ball. Blackburn looked to have conceded a free kick in the far corner. Neither the assistant nor the referee gave it. The cross came in, wasted ball again right across the 6-yard box.
Right, here comes the Blackburn change. Todd Cantwell, who's been playing well, is the man who's hooked. Cantwell goes off to bring on Maktar Gueye. It'll be Gueye and Dennis in tandem as a front 2 now for Blackburn, as they look for the 2 goals they need. Otherwise they're on their way out. It's going to be a double change here, and the other player coming on is Tyrese Dolan, who's also a forward, and he replaces Mario Croser-Dewberry. So John Eustace is going for this. He's decided to bring on 2 attackers here. They need 2 goals.
Well, he's rolling the dice, isn't he? Not even at the hour mark yet. You know, Dolan coming on, Gueye coming on, and with Emmanuel Dennis on the pitch, you say there's 2 out-and-out strikers, and immediately the pair of them line up next to each other. They're going to play with the front 2. Dolan in behind to the right-hand side, Cargbo on the left-hand side, leaves Buckley and Forshaw slightly exposed. But at this stage of the game, go for it. Why not?
Why not? Doesn't matter if they lose by a hatful here, Blackburn. You've got to give everything to try and get back into it. Tyrese Dolan, who's just came on, scored on Tuesday in the Championship at Loftus Road. Here come Wolves on the attack down the left-hand side with João Gomez. Low centre of gravity, spins away from Dolan, plays the ball back to Totti Gomez. And then Wolves have got it inside Blackburn Rovers territory. This is 5 Live and BBC Sounds, FA Cup 4th round weekend. Matt Doherty under pressure, turns and rolls it back to the goalkeeper. Not the best back pass you've ever seen. It was a little bit light, but Sam Johnson gets there ahead of Gay anyway, and because he was under pressure, he's kicked it all the way out of play. That's out for a throw into Blackburn on the far side of the field from us. 58 minutes on the stadium clock. And the official attendance in here today, 15,141, of whom 4,500 of those are travelling fans from Wolverhampton. Here come Blackburn with Ribeiro onto Cargbo. Little fizz of energy around the stadium whenever he gets possession. Tried to send it in early that time, Augustus Cargbo, and it's blocked off the back of Bellegarde and out for a Blackburn Rovers throw.
With Cargbo, if he does prove to have end product, there'll be a lot of Premier League managers and scouts questioning their recruitment system, because he looks a real player, doesn't he?
Here comes his latest delivery, too close to the goalkeeper, caught by Sam Johnson. Yeah, he's just got magic in his feet of what we've seen so far from Augustus Cargbo. He's electric.
Yeah, but it's the end product, and over a sustained period of time. I mean, come into the club this week, come in the first half, looks brilliant, looks sharp, looks direct, got a real forward impetus, and he's had a real impact on this game. If there is end product to what we've seen, he could be a real find.
Yeah, Nelson Semedo is fouled, free kick to Wolves. Matt Doherty takes it, rolls it back in to the goalkeeper. Blackburn, who travelled to West Brom in the Championship on Wednesday, quick turnaround after this. Then they've got Plymouth here at Ewood Park before a trip to Swansea after that. They want to get up into the Premier League next season. Here's Guedes for Wolves. Oh, his passes just in behind his teammate Rodrigo Gomez there. Rodrigo Gomez, who made a good run into the penalty area. Wolves come again. Guedes out on the left wing, cutting infield on his right boot, shuffles it on to Rodrigo Gomez. Corner angle of the penalty area, left hand side, short to João Gomez. No room for him to get a shot away. Mateus Cunha with a clever touch though to Rodrigo Gomez. Mateus continues the run to the penalty area, tries to give it back to Rodrigo Gomez. It's too congested, too many Blackburn defenders around, and the ball is cleared away as Rankin Costello hit the deck, and I think that's going to be a free kick to Blackburn.
Yeah, that's something that Blackburn have to be wary about. You forget about the quality that Wolves have got on this pitch. Yes, they've got good possession. Blackburn are playing in good areas, but on the turnover of possession, a little bit of keep ball from Wolves, managing to get in behind. Cunha, Sarabia, the players that they've got, they can unlock doors.
Scotland against Ireland to come here on 5 Live at 3 o'clock in the Six Nations. You can watch live coverage of that game on BBC One. Later on tonight at 10:30 you can join Ugo Monye for the rugby special highlights and analysis of all the games of week 2 across the Six Nations Championship. We've reached the hour mark here at Ewood Park. Blackburn Rovers in the Championship, trailing Premier League Wolves 2-0. Bellegarde does well in the midfield to win the ball from Dolan. Wolves playing from left to right as we look down. Here is Rodrigo Gomez, number 19, accelerating to the byline. Does well, but good recovery by Rankin Costello, who got back to veer the cross into the arms of the goalkeeper. It was a great surge forward from Rodrigo Gomez. It looked like he'd left the defender for dead there, but Rankin Costello did his best to keep up with him. And here come Blackburn trying to build out from the back once again with Danny Bath, 34 years of age now, former Wolverhampton Wanderers player. Started his senior career at Molineux back in 2008. Buckley has possession for Blackburn. They need 2 goals. Forshaw to the near touchline to Ribeiro. Gets it back from Dolan. It's a bit messy here from Blackburn. They're in danger of losing it. Dolan just about holds on to possession. Now tries to play a crossfield ball, angled out towards the far side of the pitch, but cut out by the defender, Tony Gomez. Wolves get it back again. Bellegarde. Agbadou. Wolves just need good game management now. They've got the 2-goal cushion. They just want no drama between now and the end of the 90 minutes, and they're going into tomorrow's draw for the 5th round.
You can see Cunha talking to Totti Gomez, talking to his defenders. Just keep the ball. Keep the ball. Let's have some possession.
Sarabia near the halfway line. Turns back at himself. Rolls it calmly to Matt Doherty. Doherty has scored against Chelsea recently. Into Agbadou, onto Totti Gomez. Clever from Wolves now, just letting the ball do the work, trying to take some of the sting out of Blackburn Rovers' enthusiasm. Here comes Totti Gomez, drops the shoulder, surges forward, manages to hold off Emmanuel Dennis. Then he stumbled after a brilliant run. He's saying he was tripped, but I think he just stumbled there. Emmanuel Dennis picks up the loose ball, but he hesitates too long, and Totti Gomez wins it back off him again. Here come Wolves. João Gomez, left-hand side of the midfield, gets within 15 yards of the Blackburn penalty area. Mateus Cunha now, closer to the box, head up, scanning the horizon, looking for options. Nelson Semedo back to Bellegarde. Wolves looking for the 3rd goal to really put it to bed. Attempted pass by Mateus Cunha is cut out, and here comes Cargbo, this new signing on the left wing. Matthias Cunha coming back to try and help out Matt Doherty. Cargbo, and well tackled by Matthias Cunha. The ball is kept in play by Doherty. Wolves have got it back. Paul Robinson
just watching below us, Connor.
Look at this from Cargbo, he's won it back.
Brilliant, unbelievable. His work rate as well.
So Dolan's going to run forward here, and a little hesitation for Wolves, but Dolan can't keep it in play. It was almost like he was looking up to see who was in the middle, and the ball ran away from him. And I don't think he knew this, but it's a corner.
He definitely
didn't know that.
Not the way that he sprawled
okay.
himself. Not the way he sprawled himself over the advertising ordnance in disappointment.
All over Bristol City, Aaron Paul.
Bristol City 0, Swansea 1. The rot is over for Swans. They had their first win in 7, courtesy of a smash and grab strike from Josh Tymon, who lashed home following a parried save by O'Leary. Bristol City hit the post through Sam Bell, but otherwise lacked cutting edge. Make no mistake though, big win for Swansea City. Bristol City 0, Swansea 1.
And the corner comes in, and it's gathered by Sam Johnson, and Wolves holding on to their 2-goal advantage here in the FA Cup at Ewood Park. Wolves, who are getting ready to make a double change. They're going to bring on one of the new signings, Marshall Munetsi, who's a Zimbabwean, a midfielder. We're going to see him, and we're also going to see Andre, who's been one of Wolves' better players this campaign, Brazilian international. So the number 5 and the number 7 are getting their final instructions ready for their introduction. It just showed the strength of the visitors, the quality of replacements they can bring on, as Blackburn trying to give it out to Cargbo again, but this time the ball runs out of play before he can get it. Throw into Wolves, right full back position for them. Wolves leading 2-0 here. Here's Paul Robinson.
Yeah, Munetsi, the new signing coming on. He's a defensive midfielder, can play centre half as well, but he's quite comfortable sitting in front of the back three. He will offer a lot more protection, so you'd think it will be shoring up that lead that they've got.
Let's go to Aberdeen, and an update for Kenny Crawford.
65 minutes gone, still Aberdeen 2, Dunfermline 0, but the Pars had a great chance to get back into it. 2 great chances actually. Ross Doohan, the goalkeeper, saving well from Lewis McCann, and Archie Stevens. Aberdeen 2, Dunfermline 0.
Thanks very much. So Wolves making those changes. Bellegarde is one of the players who's going off with the introduction of Andre, and Marshall Munetsi, who sees some on-field action for the first time as a Wolves player, and a first appearance in English football. Coley Woodrow's going to come on for Blackburn. It's his debut too. Recent signing from Luton. He's going to come on in place of Emmanuel Dennis. So one debutant replaces the other. Well, you said right at the start of the day, Paul, it's whether the hunger is there from Emmanuel Dennis. I think on what we've seen, that could be a decent recruit for Blackburn.
Yeah, I think he started really well. He looked sharp, he looked fit, impressed from the front. But this substitution, Connor, I can't believe he's taken him off.
Kagbo, who's really impressed us, makes way. It has been his debut, or his first start, I should say. Came on as a substitute on Tuesday. And maybe they're just trying to ease him into fitness. But yeah, I think in these circumstances, when you're 2-0 down, you need something in the FA Cup. I'd have left him on. But the change has been made. And Coley Woodrow is on for Blackburn. Wolverhampton Wanderers have got themselves a throw-in in their right full-back position.
Either he leaves him on, or he's seen enough to just play his way into the starting lineup for next Saturday.
Yeah, there could be that too. So 66 minutes on the big stadium clock. 2-0 as it was at half-time. This was the target that Blackburn were trying to chase through to. They're trying to get back from a 2-goal deficit. They've not been able. I mean, in terms of shots on target, Sam Johnson's had very little to do, as Rankin Costello has the ball for Blackburn over the right hand side. He'll give it back into Dominic Heim and over to the near touchline to Yuri Ribeiro. They're going to have to really just throw the kitchen sink at it now, Blackburn, because time is very much running out. We've a quarter of the game remaining. Buckley tries a through pass, but that's been cut out by Rodrigo Gomez over there. Blackburn will regain possession immediately, just inside the Wolves half. Wolves working hard out of possession. Ball goes out of play for a Blackburn throw on the far side.
He's done that, John Eustace, with the changes that he's made. Slight shuffle of his pack. Dolan comes over to this left hand side. Gay and Woodrow will play as the 2 central strikers. Andres Wyman given a free roll in behind. Almost 4-5 up front, out of possession, or in possession now for Blackburn Rovers. They'll go longer. They won't apologise for the way that they're playing. There's one thing you give John Eustace and Blackburn credit for. They've not just lied down. They've not accepted this 2-0 defeat. They've made changes. They've tried to affect the game, and they're chasing the game.
So this is Forshaw. It was Andy Vyman, by the way, who Blackburn brought on to replace Cargbo. Woodrow on in place of Emmanuel Dennis. And Andreas Weimann, once of Aston Villa, has come on. He's been Blackburn Rovers' top goal scorer this season. So he's attacking through the middle with Maktar Gay. And it'll be Doherty to roll the ball back here to Sam Johnson, and he clears away, and Wolves still lead by 2-0 here at Ewood Park. The header by Dominic Hine, controlled by Weimann. Good first touch. Woodrow gets involved. Gives it to Rankin Costello. They're trying to get it forward up towards Andy Weimann, but it's cut out. Wolves' three-man central defensive system working very well, limiting the opportunities for the home side, but Blackburn win it back inside Wolves' territory again. Adam Forshaw has possession. Gives it out to the near touchline to Ribeiro. He'll push it down the flank. This is Dolan. Keeps the ball in play by the corner flag. Ribeiro makes himself available again. Can Blackburn get it into the box? They're still well outside the area. Shot from miles out from Buckley, goes miles wide. It absolutely stinks of desperation, that. I guess you've got to try it from somewhere, but that felt really far out.
It was a long way out. But just looking at Wolves' formation, they're playing without a recognised striker. Whether Pereira's happy with what he's got and he's sure that he can see this game out for the last 20 minutes plus added time. But he's just called Pablo Sarabia over to this near touchline, having a chat with him, showing him a piece of paper, because at the moment, new signing Munetsi, who's a central defensive holding midfielder, he's playing the most advanced of anyone in an orange shirt.
Munetsi, who's come in for the French club Reims, signed on transfer deadline day. This is his debut as Sarabia comes in the attack for Wolves, down the right hand side, has a look up to see who's with him. Cunha arriving, heads over the top. Great burst from Mateus Cunha to get into the position, and he jumped as high as he could, but he couldn't get the header down.
Brilliant by Sarabia on this near side. Whether that was more by luck than judgment, because he was just having a word with the manager on this near side, he might not necessarily have found himself on this right touchline. Ball breaks for him, cuts inside, he swings a lovely cross in. Cunha times his run to perfection, just can't quite get enough purchase on the header. 70 minutes on the clock. 5 live from the BBC FA Cup 4th round as Gay comes forward here for Blackburn, tries to get a cross in from a wide angle, but it's too close to the goalkeeper, and it's a comfortable save from Sam Johnson. They've got Woodrow up there, they've got Gay, they've got Weimann. Can they create opportunities? The delivery from wide areas hasn't been one of Blackburn's strengths in this game so far. 20 minutes to go. Doherty inside the Wolves penalty area. Wolves playing left to right as we look down. Plays it up towards Sarabia, who can't make the ball stick. Weimann tries to turn, but Agbadou has him in his pocket, and Wolves come away with possession with João Gomez up to Mateus Cunha to the halfway line. João Gomez involved once again. Thought about the through ball. Cunha had made a run, but then he thought the better of it. Took the safer option into Andre. And Wolves looking more relaxed in possession now. They're inside their own half. João Gomez back to Totti Gomez. And the travelling Wolves fans beginning to cheer every pass now as they believe they're going through to the draw for the 5th round. Yeah, it's a really strange formation that he's playing, Pereira. Our position here, right high, right at the very back where the Jack Walker stand here at Ewood Park. We've got a really good vantage point, and you can see, and they're interchanging the players, Cunha, Sarabia, whoever's playing there. They've got no real recognised number 9. And as I say, Munetsi, the new signing, he's the one that's quite often finding himself the most advanced.
Andreas Weimann, who's come on, is a former Wolves player as well. He had a stint at Molineux earlier on in his career. Weimann, who scored Blackburn's winning goal in the 3rd round against Middlesbrough. That was his first FA Cup goal for 7 years. Has an attack here, and a header goes just wide from Munetsi. That could have been a debut goal. Great run into the penalty area. It was Rodrigo Gomez's cross. He wanted a little glancing header, and he put it just wide of the target. What a debut that would have been for him.
Yeah, I'm not so sure he expected to come on his debut as centre forward, but it was a brilliant run from him. Timed it into the box. It's clearly something that he's comfortable doing. Ball's whipped in across. Good header at 12 yards out. Doesn't quite get enough on it to trouble the goalkeeper.
Let's check into the cricket. Dan Norcross.
Well, it's ugly reading if you're an England fan. 131 without loss. India 16.1 overs gone. That target just 305. Rohit Sharma has 73. Shubman Gill 56. They're playing absolutely beautifully. 131 without loss.
Thank you very much. Here at Ewood Park in the FA Cup, Blackburn Rovers 2-0 down. 2 goals that came in such quick succession in the first half. There was only 39 seconds after the restart from the first goal scored by João Gomez before Mateus Cunha put it into the back of the net. And Blackburn have never really recovered from that double whammy. They've tried to stay positive, but they've not been able to trouble Sam Johnson. And for all their good work in the central third, Blackburn have not been able to add to that with the final touch in the penalty area at the other end. Wolves' defence have kept them at bay so far. There's a good interception here by Agbadou, and then Woodrow thought for a moment he'd won it off him, but the referee says that he's committed a foul. Free kick to Wolves near the centre circle.
I think it's been disjointed in the second half from Blackburn. I know the managers wanted to make changes and put the attacking players on the field that he has in Gay, Dolan, Vyman, Woodrow as well, but I actually think it's disrupted the flow of Blackburn. I think with the wide players that they had, Kozia, Dubry and Cargbo, they were the main threat.
Here's Mateus Cunha, quick thinking in around the back of the defence, tries to lob it over the goalkeeper, and it's headed off the goal line by Dominic Hine. That would have been spectacular from Mateus Cunha, quick thinking, and from the most unlikely angle he nearly put it in.
He's the best player on the pitch, isn't he, Cunha? Clearly the best player on the pitch, and he's strutting around in his orange boots, arms in the air. He wants the ball again. Really good flick over the goalkeeper. Only a brilliant clearance from Heim stopped him scoring again.
Here he comes again, Mateus Cunha, 10 yards outside the penalty area, looking for the angle to shoot. Here it comes, good save. Toth diving to his right. That was headed for the top left corner, and it's pushed away and out for a corner. But Mateus Cunha has been a joy to watch today, he really has.
Yeah, he's just embellished his reputation as the best player on the pitch. That was a brilliant piece of play. 30 yards from goal, got nothing else in his mind but just try and create an avenue, work a way in which I can get a shot. Goes across the 18-yard box, hits it 25 yards on the angle. It's heading for the top corner, and that's the best bit of goalkeeping that Toth done this afternoon. Good save by the Hungarian goalkeeper. Hasn't filled me with confidence this afternoon. I think he's been poor, but that was a good save.
Just over a quarter of an hour to go. Blackburn Rovers 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2 in the FA Cup. There was one game in the Championship today. Swansea won away at Bristol City. Swansea City's first win of 2025. Bristol City missing out on the opportunity to move up to 5th. Here's a chance though again for Wolves, and a shot that comes in from Munetsi, and it's wide on the other side. So he's had two big chances now. He's put them either side of the post. Back to Pittodrie. Aberdeen against Dunfermline. Kenny Crawford.
75 minutes gone, still Aberdeen 2, Dunfermline 0, but it should be 3 because Kevin Nisbet on loan from Millwall has just hit the post. He can't buy a goal at the moment. Aberdeen 3, Dunfermline 2, sorry.
And later on, Rangers will play Queen's Park. That gets underway in about an hour and a half from now. The other FA Cup games today, Plymouth hosting Liverpool at 3 o'clock, and Aston Villa at home to Tottenham. Could be Marcus Rashford's debut. We'll have full commentary of that game here on 5 Live. 5:35 kickoff, Aston Villa against Spurs. Between now and then, we bring you Six Nations Rugby. 5 Live commentary from Edinburgh with Sarah Orchard and the team. Scotland against Ireland, the two unbeaten teams in the Six Nations so far this campaign, going into their second matches. Wicket at the cricket, Dan Norcross.
Yes, I can barely believe I'm saying it. A beautiful Yorker from Jamie Overton has bowled Shubman Gill. India 136 for 1. Gill goes for 60. The great partnership is over. England just with a sniff now. 136 for 1, chasing 305.
Thanks very much. Wolves have got a throw in here just down below us. Nelson Semedo. As Dolan tries to nip in to regain possession for Blackburn. Blackburn, who are trying to salvage something in this game in very difficult circumstances. They've got home advantage, but they're against a Premier League opponent buoyed by a big win against Aston Villa last weekend. Wolves believe they've got the quality to stay up in the Premier League, and they believe they've the quality to go through to the FA Cup 5th round today, bolstered by the 2 goals they scored in the first half. Blackburn giving it everything, but not being able to, regardless of scoring, not being able to get shots on target. That's been the big problem. Rankin Costello on the far side. Vyman now plays a crossfield ball. Ribeiro, the debutant, turned 28 last week. He gives it up to John Buckley. Buckley dinks one down the left channel. Controlled by Dolan. Now can he deliver into the box? They get into this position a lot, Blackburn, but they struggle to provide the real ammunition. Woodrow sends a ball in. Headed up into the air by Agbadou. Headed out of the penalty area by João Gomes. Wolves can't hold on to possession though. Blackburn get it back, but they're back on the halfway line with Danny Bath, and he launches it long and out towards Woodrow on the left hand side. It's a really good pass. Woodrow's first touch poor, gives away possession, cleared away by Nelson Semedo, but straight to Yuri Ribeiro. Blackburn still believe, but they need to get their skates on. Here comes the cross from Dolan. That's not bad at all. It'll count as an attempt on target, but no power from Gay, and a comfortable save from Sam Johnson. It's still Blackburn 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2.
And it's a regular story for Blackburn. The toothlessness in the final third. Looking down at my notes, not on a great run of form, at times not ruthless enough. And though there's a players that he looked for in January, he's tried to reinforce in those areas. Again, some good qualities come in, but the same story. They've just not had that quality or the right decisions in the final third.
Sarabia back to Nelson Semedo. Wolves, who reached the quarter-final of the FA Cup last season, they were beaten by Coventry, who you remember went on to play Manchester United at Wembley and gave the eventual winners a huge scare in that semi-final. Wolves would love to think they could be a good cup team this time round. First and foremost, of course, to survive in the top flight. For Blackburn, their aspiration is to move up. And they are still in the playoff positions in the Championship. They were 5th coming into the weekend. There's been a handful of games in the second tier that's pushed them down to 6th for now. Here is Joe Gomez giving the ball into player of the match so far, Mateus Cunha, who loops one over the top, and Muntezi is onto it again, and he just stumbled as he tried to shoot. Munetsi, the Zimbabwean, well, he's been brought in as this, billed as being a defensive midfielder. He's showing a great willingness to make surging runs forward.
He's had 3 of the best chances of the game. The manager's clearly seen something in him that nobody else has in the past. Looking down at the notes, looking at his past, he's never played as a striker in his life, but he's taken up 3 really good positions there. Once again, another good opportunity, almost one-on-one with the goalkeeper.
The clock continues to tick on, and it's not in Blackburn Rovers' favour as Sarabia picks it up for Wolves and comes down the right-hand side, tries to play it into Munetsi, slightly overstruck. Blackburn regain possession, but they're all the way back with their goalkeeper taught the way to our right-hand side. Under pressure, Haim tries to clear it away, and actually Rankin Costello's done really well to keep it in play initially, and then Totti Gomez comes thundering across from a central position to hoof the ball into touch, and that's out for a throw into Blackburn on the far side.
They're going to have to find something quick, Blackburn, going into the last 10 minutes of the game. To say possession-wise, they've been good, and this performance will give John Eustace some belief in his side going forward, if he is to remain here for the rest of the season, that they can compete with the teams the quality of Wolves.
Here's Dolan, crossing position on the left, running into the box, up against Doherty, tries to flick it in, comes off the shins of the Republic of Ireland defender. Dolan's not been able to provide anything from those wide areas since coming on as a second-half substitute here, as Nelson Semedo picks out a really good pass to Sarabia, and this will relieve a bit of pressure for Wolves now. Sarabia holds it up, little nonchalant flick of the ball up into the air as Wolves begin to toy with Blackburn now. They know that they're into the last 10 minutes and they've got the armour of a 2-goal lead, but Gay has taken advantage of a poor pass here. This is Maktar Gay for Blackburn, tries to bulldoze his way through and he's fouled. Free kick to Blackburn, 15 yards outside the penalty area.
Fortunate to get a free kick there, I think, Gay. He won that one off the referee. Wolves sloppy in possession. He said they're recycling the ball, comfortable, popping the ball about, causing Blackburn problems, trying to get the ball back off them. One lapse in possession, they lose possession. Give Blackburn an opportunity. Free kick midway through the Wolves half.
Blackburn, you feel, have got to get one. If they're going to make this an exciting finish, they've got to get one soon.
It's going to have to be quick, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, the supporters around us on the far side, the Riverside, some of them have seen enough, the same old story. Not a bad performance, just not that cutting edge.
Just making their way in small numbers out of the ground, believing there is going to be no sprinkle of FA Cup magic for their team here today. Blackburn Rovers 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2. Buckley stands over a free kick, surely too far out to shoot, but Wolves have erected a 2-man wall just in case he gets any notions. Woodrow is also standing there. Body language suggests that Woodrow's going to fancy it here, and he does drill from miles out. Tell you what, that's some strike. It's so far out, but he thundered it goal bound as Wolves attacked on the other end. Oh, the goalkeeper's all over the place, and he just about thought, well, look, fair play to him. He judged it right in the end. He looked so uncertain as he ran out of his penalty area, ran back in again, then he ran out a third time to slide it away. Toth just about cleared that one away.
The bungee rope was pulling him back into goal then, wasn't it? He came, he went. It was a lovely long clearance by Sam Johnson.
Here's Gay. Oh, he's done well. Gay in the penalty area. Shoots, saved by the goalkeeper. Back for a second bite of the cherry, but it's taken away from him by Entree. Big chances for Blackburn late on. They're giving it everything. They're thin at the back now, though, as Mateus Cunha comes forward. Here comes the cross. Sarabia could have finished it, but he puts it over the crossbar from 5 yards out. That could have signed, sealed and delivered Wolverhampton Wanderers' place in the 5th round draw.
What a pass that was by Cunha, who said how good he's been today. He's here on the right hand side and he's looking into the 6-yard box and he's saying to Sarabia, go on then, hurry up. And he stands on the ball, he waits for him, and Cunha puts the ball inch perfect, and he should do better. The game should have been finished.
Late change for Wolves. Ryan Aitnouri's coming on for Nelson Semedo. And there's also going to be a change for Blackburn here. They're taking off Adam Forshaw and they're bringing on the Welshman Ryan Hedges. This is another attacker coming on. Hedges, who's only got 1 goal in the Championship this season, but he is a forward. He comes on in place of the veteran midfielder Adam Forshaw.
5 forwards on the pitch now for Blackburn. 5 players that could actually play as a striker.
How many Blackburn forwards does it take to change a light bulb? Well, they haven't been able to score a goal today. They've got 7 minutes of normal time remaining. There haven't been any dramatic stoppages in this second half. There'll always be a few minutes added on, but nothing crazy. Wolves are almost there. If you weren't listening in the first half, 2 goals, an incredibly quick sequence for Wolves. João Gomes scored the first one, just smuggled it in underneath the goalkeeper. Thought he'll be disappointed he didn't do better. And then Blackburn, who had been playing well before that, was sort of stunned by that. And 39 seconds after the restart, Mateus Cunha firing and rifling a low shot from an angle wide out on the right-hand side, similar to the angle where he scored against Aston Villa last weekend. Wolves have never really looked back. They haven't needed to be brilliant since then. They've just needed to be steady. As Heim comes out of defence for Blackburn, plays it up to Gay. Now Rankin Costello veering infield off the right wing. Can he get a shot away here? No, it's taken away from him by Tony Gomez. That's a good turn. Tony Gomez now scorches up over the halfway line. Buckley's trying to keep up with him. He's got Mateus Cunha to his left. This can finish it now. Mateus Cunha in the penalty area, saved by the goalkeeper. Comes back again to Tony Gomez. Mateus Cunha flicks it to Ait Nouri. João Gomes, Mateus Cunha absolutely toying with the Blackburn defence now, as it's keep ball for Wolves inside the Blackburn penalty area. And we hear news coming our way of a goal at Pittodrie, and we'll get the details from Kenny Crawford.
85 minutes gone, and now it is Aberdeen 3, Dunfermline 0, and now Kevin Nisbet does have his goal from 6 yards out. He thumped it into the back of the net, set up by Shayden Morris. Aberdeen 3, Dunfermline 0.
Thanks very much, Kenny. So it's almost over here at Ewood Park. Wolves on their way through to the 5th round. Blackburn Rovers, who can't be criticised for lack of effort today, but crucially the difference between these teams has been the calibre of finishing when chances came Wolves' way. And not that Wolves have had a ton of chances, but when the chances came they took them. Blackburn, who had a goal perhaps harshly disallowed in the absence of video assistant referee in the first half, and they haven't really threatened since then. Here is Rankin Costello, edge of his own penalty area for Blackburn, hoists it long towards the tall Gay, jumps and wins the header in the air, but he can't pick out a teammate. Andre gets it down on the deck, flicked on by Munetsi. Been impressed with what we've seen by him. Rodrigo Gomez, who's moved to right wing back since the introduction of Ait Nouri for Nelson Semedo. Ait Nouri here trying to win the ball away from Gay. That's a lovely little backheel to himself from Maktar Gay, and he tried to thread it through to Vyman. Good idea, just cut out by the impressive Agbadou.
Just not good enough again from Blackburn for the last pass, the final third. Good play, trying to keep possession. They've not really offered much in the second half. In all honesty, Blackburn have this Sam Johnson away to our left in his luminous pink kit. Not a spot of mud on him in the second half.
Blackburn hoping to come up to the Premier League next season. On what we've seen today, they would need significant investment in recruits to survive up in the top flight, as out comes Toth way out of his penalty area, but he gets there ahead of Mateus Cunha and he delivers the ball down the field, and Agbadou, so calm and relaxed, just flicks a pass to Doherty. Wolves come over the halfway line once again. Wolves leading 2-0. Here he goes again. Munetsi surging forward, out comes Toth to dive at his feet. Some engine on him.
Really has impressed since he's come on. Munetsi breaking out of midfield, playing as that false number 9. Had 2 or 3 really good opportunities to finish the game off.
Ribeiro, halfway line for Blackburn, surely out of time. 3 minutes of normal time to go. 2 goals they trail by here on 5 Live in the FA Cup 4th round. Buckley plays a little 1-2 with Woodrow. Ribeiro does the same with Dolan. Ribeiro, who's not looked too bad at all on what is his Blackburn debut. Now Dolan's cross comes in, but he can't get it over Agbadou, and a sort of stumbling diving header from Agbadou does the job for Wolves as they clear it outside the penalty area once again. Let's go for news of a goal at Manchester City with Mike Maine.
Where Leila Wahhabi's given Manchester City a 1-0 lead over Leicester City in the FA Cup 5th round here. Low shot, squeezed in at the near post. Goalkeeper tried to dive, couldn't get there quick enough. It was the third of a flurry of shots, and the Blues, who have dominated since kick-off, and they lead 1-0.
Yes, those games all about quarter of an hour, 20 minutes in the Women's FA Cup 5th round. Arsenal also playing London City Lionesses in a 2 o'clock kickoff. Here at Ewood Park, Wolverhampton Wanderers in possession, right full-back position. It's been a calm and steady second half for them. No real panic, no drama at any stage. Beautiful little nutmeg there from Andre. That's in his Brazilian DNA as Mateus Cunha launches one forward. Sarabia tries to control under pressure. Good work from Rankin Costello to keep the ball away from him. As Agbadou falls awkwardly, and the referee said he was fouled. And Woodrow shoots from range anyway. But the whistle had long blown. Free kick to Wolves, Paul Robinson.
It's absolutely launched there, Andre, for his troubles. Really good piece of play. Nutmegs a Blackburn defender, and Ribeiro comes in then, helps his teammate out, and he absolutely launches Andre, gives him a dead leg. He's struggling. But the thing for Blackburn Rovers in this game, the game's been won and lost in key areas. They've not been good enough in the final third, in the attacking final third. That's something that's let them down all season. And they've not been good enough in their own defensive third. The goalkeeper's been poor. The back four have been okay. Goalkeeper cost them the first goal, and they were never able to recover.
40 minutes time, they'll be kicking off at Murrayfield. Scotland against Ireland in the Six Nations. You can listen live here on 5 Live as Nouri slips it in. Sarabia to the side netting. Wolves coming close to that third goal that has eluded them in this second half. It's a corner to Wolves, and we have got 40 seconds of normal time to play.
The game's really stretched now. Holes and spaces all over the pitch. Wolves keeping the ball at will. Blackburn pushing on, making a real effort, trying to put bodies forward, trying to play in the right areas, but in doing so they're leaving themselves so exposed.
After the rugby, we'll bring you Aston Villa against Tottenham here on 5 Live. You can also watch that one on BBC One. And later on this evening, you can listen to the Super Bowl 59, Kansas City Chiefs taking on Philadelphia Eagles in New Orleans. Coverage on 5 Live from 11 o'clock tonight as Sarabia looks up from the left wing here for Wolves, just outside the penalty area. Lovely dummy sold by Munetsi. Shot from Mateus Cunha, and he's furious with himself that he didn't keep that under control. It was a wild effort. It sprayed away off target. We are into stoppages, of which just 3 minutes are being added on. Surely that's not going to be enough time to save Blackburn Rovers here, and their FA Cup journey is about to come to an end.
Wolves fans, Munetsi looks like another good signing. Agbadou in this window looks like a real find, looks like they've unearthed a real rough diamond there. 17 million, looking at every penny a bargain. But Munetsi come into this game 20-25 minutes, good tough tackling, kept the ball well, but actually gone forward and had 2 or 3 really good opportunities in the opposition penalty box.
Blackburn battling on, but it would appear their number is up. Rankin Costello loses out on the far side. Here comes Ryan Nouri. Just cuts back at himself, pirouettes around on the ball, plays a little 1-2 with Andre. Good game management from Wolves. It's frustrating for Blackburn, who are sprinting in shuffles and trying to win possession. And actually that pressure does force a mistake there from Andre, but then Dolan can't hold on to it. Dolan now battling to try and regain possession for Blackburn. Clock ticking on. Barely over a minute and a half to go. Here's Sarabia for Wolves, looking to seal it into the penalty area. Mateus Cunha's with him. The new man, Munetsi, goes down to the edge of the penalty area. Referee was close to it, says no foul. Blackburn will play it up towards Gay. Dolan down that left channel. Gay will thunder after it. He's bravely gone into a collision there with Agbadou, but the ball goes out of play, and that will be a throw into Wolves.
Worked extremely hard, Blackburn, going forward. They've tackled hard in the midfield. They've tried to stay with Wolves, but it's just those 2 moments of first half quality, Premier League quality. And that since then, Wolves have dominated the game. In the second half, Blackburn, yes, they've worked hard, but they haven't created as much in the second half with all these attacking players on, and they haven't looked as much as an attacking threat as they did in the first half when they were structured with the 2 wide players.
Plymouth against Liverpool kicks off at 3 o'clock. 24th in the Championship against top of the Premier League. Liverpool, the 8 times winners. Aston Villa against Spurs coming up at 5:35. The all Premier League tie, just 6 league places between them. Doherty clears away for Wolves. Anywhere will do now. Blackburn fans rapidly making their way in large droves towards the exits now. Agbadou held up by Gay. Gay's done well to get possession initially, but Agbadou is as tough as teak, and he can't drag him down. Gay, and eventually he fouls him. Free kick to Wolves. Agbadou refused to budge there as we go back to the cricket and Dan Norcross.
It's another wicket. It's Virat Kohli who's out, sharply turning leg break from Adil Rashid. He went to drive it, got a thick edge through to the keeper. Wasn't given out by the umpire, but England have referred it, and the wicket has fallen. Virat Kohli goes for 5, India 150 for 2.
Thanks very much. So almost done here at Ewood Park, and it'll be interesting, Paul, to listen to John Huston's interviews later on, not least the fact he's been linked in the last 24 hours with a vacant job at Derby. But it's a day as the final whistle blows where Wolves go through to the 5th round of the FA Cup quite comfortably in the end, and Blackburn will just feel they never got the rub of the green. A goal disallowed that would have put them 1-0 in front in the first half. Had there been VAR, who knows, that could have counted. And then the double whammy of 2 goals in such quick succession. Blackburn, for all their endeavour and work rate, just couldn't deal with those setbacks, and their FA Cup journey has come to an end here.
Same story for Blackburn. Not good enough in the final third of the field. Defensively, the goalkeeper wasn't good today, cost them the first goal, but actually as an overall performance, John Eustace will look at that and he will take a lot of positives from that. Cargbo in the first half, we spoke about his pace down the left hand side, he looks a real find. Without those 2 goals in that performance, take those 2 minutes out of the game for Blackburn's point of view, that was a decent performance. Wolverhampton Wanderers, they were the Premiership team today. They bossed the possession, they got those 2 goals, they took the 2 opportunities, and then it was simple for them. They knew how to contain Blackburn, they kept the pitch very narrow, they defended extremely well, and they played out the time in the second half, used the substitutes well. John Eustace made 5-6 substitutions, put a lot of attacking players on the pitch. They looked unbalanced in the end. Wolverhampton Wanderers came here, did a job. 2-0.
It's one of those days where we learned some things we didn't already know, and we were confirmed some things we already knew. The things we didn't know, Augustus Carbo looks electric on the left wing for Blackburn. It'll be intriguing to see how he gets on over the next weeks and months. For Wolves, Marshall Munetsi looks the business. I can't wait to see him in the Premier League. 2 January signings who've impressed today. The thing we already knew is that Mateus Cunha is class, and he was brilliant today as Wolves go through to the 5th round. Blackburn Rovers 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2.
And I know the FA Cup is important, Paul Robinson, but at the same time, add it to the Premier League win over Aston Villa, and it is that word momentum as Vitor Pereira gives a few fist pumps to the Wolves fans.
Yeah, and they've travelled in the thousands. I think about 4,500 of them here today, and they've stayed till the end to celebrate with the team. And like you say, momentum. And Connor went through the fixture list during the game of what Wolves have got to come. They've had a really tough time of it. They've got a great result against Villa. The games they've got to come now, that performance, the momentum that they've got, he'll want to continue that in the coming weeks and keep his team in the Premier League.
Yeah, just to reiterate, Liverpool away followed by Bournemouth away. Very tough coming up for Wolves.
And for Blackburn, like Connor was saying there, Paul, actually for both teams, there were really promising debutants. Cargbo probably above all for Rovers.
Listen, if he's got end product, he's going to be a real player. And there'll be a lot of scouts scratching their heads as to how he's gone under the radar. One, it's taken him till he gets to 25 to come to the UK, but actually how bigger clubs have missed him. Whether there's no end product with goals, assists, etc., we're yet to see, but he looks a real threat. Plays wide, he's got electrifying pace, and his first thought, he's always forwards. He looks like he could be a real find, Steve.
Thank you very much both, Conor McNamara and Paul Robinson, inside Ewood Park. Blackburn Rovers of the Championship 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers of the Premier League 2. They advance to round 5